What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin, where the war fights start.
Round one.
You know it. Yo, we had an amazing year this year. We kicked off a lot of amazing fights. If you guys want to talk about all the fights that happened in 2025, we can break that down. We have a lot of big fights to talk about now. And we got a lot to catch up on. So lock in, tune in, subscribe to the channel, become a Round One Sports Talk member. And like always, let's hop right into this episode. What's up, Towers? First chat of the day. How you doing, brother? Salute. Uh salute, Hugo. How you doing, brother? In the building. Let me set things up here a little bit. I was trying to hook up this TikTok thing today and I can't do it. Can't do it. I apparently hooked up one account and now I got another account going and I got kicked off one. It's just a big mess. I think I might have to delete both and start over from scratch. So I'm just trying to expand more, things like that. But we got a lot of boxing to talk about, guys. Listen, and we just closed up the year 2025. We saw a lot of amazing things in 2025. You know, shit. We saw Jake Paul get his jaw broken. You know what I'm saying? That shit got smashed. Bah! Yo. AJ hit him with that shot, and they was like,
he needs some milk.
Yo, he was fuck. Yo, he went out like, he went out on his shield. I was gonna say he went out, he went out on his shield, but um, it was more fatigue for me. He was just tired. He couldn't do nothing about that punch coming in. It came in too fast, and all he could do is just watch it. He was just, he was just exhausted. He was like, "Oh shit, boom, yo." So I mean, for the most part, he did get in there with an active heavyweight former champion. We got to see that. You know, we didn't see much of Javante Tank Davis, but we did see Lamont Roach and Esau Pitbull Cruz. And I did witness Lamont Roach get staggered in that fight, right? So we saw Naoya Inoue several times this past year. We saw him defend all four belts. Very competitive matchups for the young Japan fighter at 32 years old. Look, what can I say? He went back to back unanimous decisions. These fights are getting tough, and he got touched up and knocked down. And it was an amazing year for boxing. We saw a lot of boxing, a lot of good fights, big upsets, and we even got some fights in the making right now. And talking about upsets, people, talking about upsets, check it out, right? Um, Remember when I told you when that fight kicked off in Riyadh with the Night of the Samurais? I told you I didn't have anything really to base it on just my intuition and my gut feeling about boxing. That's all I had at base. And I said Nakatani was gonna have a hard fought fight against Sebastian Hernandez. And that's what my boxing, spider senses told me in that time, right? There's a fight going to be coming up in a little while. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. On that fight card, there's going to be a fight. Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz. Now, that fight right there, that's a very interesting fight in many different ways for me. But one of the ways that fight is interesting is everything that I'm seeing, right? And I'm a bit worried for Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis is a guy that I think that has a lot of talent. He's a former world champion. You got to give him that. He didn't defend the belt, but still, he did get it. Okay. And the way he did it when the guy came in 6 pounds overweight, you can't just bypass that. Keyshawn Davis, he didn't fight probably everybody I would have wanted to see him fight, but I had to quickly remind myself that he was on a fast track and he was also fairly young in his career and in competition. You see, because Keyshawn Davis is up there with among some of the stars right now. And I don't think that Keyshawn got the credentials like the opponents to like really be up there. But sometimes you're that talented and you're that freaking good that right away you can do it. Those are the good ones. Those are the guys that separate themselves from other guys that real early in their career they were good enough to already be up there. Could that be what Keyshawn Davis is? Could that be it? You know what I mean? And this is going to be his opportunity right here. I think a guy that's really going to test him in Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz has been in there with some of the big names in boxing already. Although he came up short, a lot of people felt he gave Teofimo Lopez and Vasily, yes, two-time gold medalist Vasily, a run for their money. Jermaine Ortiz is it's in that in his last fights. Listen, you might not be familiar too much with his opponents, Jermaine Ortiz, but let me tell you, he's been in some dog fights. He's been in some dog fights. And that, my friend, is boxing. And when we talk about levels to this, I can't help but think and sit here. I know that Ortiz is on my side of the woods. People are going to say, oh, he's Puerto Rican, he's from Massachusetts, all kinds of stuff. You're going to hear it, right? But that can't be further from the truth. Because if you know me, I cover boxing. My loyalty stands to boxing, not to any one individual. It will never be based on that. I'm a fan of boxing and I like certain boxers and I'll promote one, because I'll think so. But as far as my boxing etiquette and what I'm seeing, no, my friend, you can't just look over Keyshawn Davis because he's the loudest dog. How many times we've seen this? The loudest dog, it's them quiet ones you got to worry about. It's the ones you don't really hear. You don't see Ortiz all over social media popping off at the gums. He's trying to make his fair share as a call out because you got to do that in the sport. Meanwhile, Keyshawn's more, interested on his physique of late, flexing on social media. Oh, the businessman is back. Really? You call yourself a businessman? How's your business going? Are you in the business of being a world champion or in the business of not? Are you in the business of following the rules and paying sanctioning fees and telling your fans you're going to become a world champion? What kind of business are you doing? I'm not sure. You see? So, look, man, let me catch up on your chats and everything. Salute to the Round One Sports Talk chat. Jay Paul had no business getting in the ring with AJ. Blaze. Look, check it out, Blaze. Come on, Blaze. You know what I'm saying? We gotta point out what's there. Like I said, my obligations to boxing. So I'm not a fan of Jake Paul, but I cover boxing. And the thing is that we were just gonna pay to watch Jake Paul fight Tank Davis. Tank Davis was a little dude, man. No matter how skilled he is, Jake Paul had a lot of weight on Tank Davis. Okay? Then all of a sudden he turned around and flipped the table. He flipped the tides. He said, you guys called me a bully for trying to fight a small guy in Tank Davis. So he turned around and he fought the biggest guy. And just as skilled as Tank, but can punch twice as hard as we saw. So in that aspect, right there, I had to be like, okay, there's no, I can't say a biatch, you know what I'm saying, Jake Paul, because I'm trying to tell you, right? I'm about 200 pounds, some shit like that, a little under it, about like, I don't know, 190 or some shit, 193 or something. I haven't weighed myself in a while, right? But I'm not getting in the ring with AJ. You could sit there and say, for $92 million, I'll do it. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. I can guarantee you on that night, when you walking down that and them lights turn on and you see all them people about to see you get your face smashed and you gonna curl up. You think they're gonna give you $92 million for curling up? No, they're not gonna pay you that money. You would have to fight that man. The contract's gonna read, you're gonna have to last. If you get knocked out, you get knocked out. Bro, when you wake up, the side of your face is gonna need steel bolts. You might need speech therapy, whatever. You gonna get rocked, bro. Nah, that's not easy. A lot of people say that quick, like, yeah, without a skip, yo, they forget the part where they're actually gonna have to actually stand in front of AJ. They forget that part. And when you see his size, you're just like, come on, man. I'm not gonna let you just punch on me like that. Bro, there's some punches in this. Nah, bro. I'll pull out on you. Fuck, man. Get out of here, man. You're not gonna know. Nah, man. I had this all this time looking so pretty. You think I want to go in there and come out with my shit like, get the hell out of here? Man, listen, Jake Paul right now is on all kinds of medication, perks. He can't even eat food. He's sipping out of a straw. Everything goes in a blender for 4 to 6 weeks. Chicken, rice, yo, that shit makes you want to throw up. And when you throw up for the first time with your jaw wired, you start to choke and it starts to come out of all your, because you can't open your mouth. So, oh, you gotta swallow that shit back down. You gotta train yourself to drink that shit. Yo, after the first 3 to 4 days, sipping out of a straw with them flavored juice, they got like these flavored breakfast, flavored lunch type. You get tired of that. You like, yo, I gotta eat. I gotta eat. Yo, in a week, you lose so much weight. If women wanted to lose weight, why are they mouth shut? That'll work out in so many different ways. But bump. Yo, I'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, you lose so much weight. Yo, Jake Paul is about to lose anywhere between 25, 30, 35 pounds for 4 to 6 weeks with that. He's gonna be miserable. When I broke my jaw in football, the guy came underneath me with his helmet, with his head, and I was running with the ball, and he came underneath me and he cracked my jaw underneath here. Now I knew my jaw was broken. I walked all the way home that day with a broken jaw, sat in my kitchen for like I don't know how many hours until I got the ride to go to the hospital. I basically sat like that all day. I couldn't even open my mouth. All my teeth were in the inside like this. They were pushed inside. So I know what that's like. That shit drove me crazy. I swear on everything I love. I took a nail clipper and my boy hold it up like this. And I was looking with a mirror and I clipped off the bottom and the top part of my wire. And I got my teeth got pulled out. So through there, I was taking pieces of chicken, dipping them and forcing it through there. And that's how I was eating a little bit like the last week. Yup. My shit was by the time they was pulling that shit out, they were like, "What the fuck is this?" Yo, I was going crazy. You literally feel like you're starving. They bring you those shakes with rice and chicken, man. I don't want to drink that shit. I couldn't drink it, man. My stomach, just the thought of gravy in a, I couldn't do it, bro. That fucked me up, man. I was young when that shit. I was young when I broke my jaw and then that football fucking shit. I used to play all kinds of sports. That's the only time I broke my jaw like that. Um, People say that if you break your jaw or something, it's easier or something. I never had a problem with it. That shit, I took mad punches after that. That shit, she's all right. I think it was young. I was young enough, and the calcium built good. I think maybe I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, but all I know is the experience. That shit was miserable. That shit, I don't wish that on my fucking worstest enemy, man. The ability to like look at everybody eating, and you're just like, there's nothing wrong with you. You just can't. You can't open your mouth. That shit is crazy, man. I don't know how people do it. I seen people do that bypass surgery where they like shrink your stomach, and those people got it worse than what I had it. To tell you the truth, they had it worse. Why? Because um they only had to eat a little bit like that, and all of a sudden they outside throwing up, fucking ripping linings and popping stitches and shit in they thing by a little bit of food. Yeah, and they're so hungry that they know it's gonna hurt them, but they're like, "Oh, let me try it anyway." And then they're throwing up in the hospital. 3 days later, they do the same fucking thing. Oh, let me try it anyway. Again, over and over and over, because starvation, that shit'll push you to a limit, man. That all that money, man, Jake Paul, like he's finding out. Yeah, it'll be cool at the end to spend some bread and shit. But bro, his career is probably done. I'm not sure. I mean, it broke in two spots, and then they said he went and got like some silver teeth and fangs. I'm like, are you gonna put a mouth guard on that and box again, or like, are you gonna take the chance of, like, I don't know. And then it happened in the ring. See, it didn't happen. It's somewhere else. Had I probably broke my jaw in the ring or something, or got my jaw broken by somebody in a fight or something, maybe I would have been traumatized or something. But because it happened in football, it did. I never viewed it like that in boxing. I never viewed it like, oh, I never actually even thought about it too much. After my shit healed, it healed, and I was never a boxer then, so I guess that's why. But I never like, you know. But Jake Paul got his shit twisted in the ring. So when you're fighting again, the way you got the injury, it could be some trauma behind that. He might not want to get hit. He might not feel comfortable. I don't know. I don't know how that works in a fight. I never got my shit broken in a fight, but um yeah, it could be, right? I would think if you was a NASCAR driver and you crashed your car in NASCAR and you went back driving, I think that's, you know what I mean? But like, if you was a NASCAR driver and you got in a fight and somebody broke your jaw, would you get in a car and panic? No, because somebody broke your jaw in a fight. What the fuck that got to do with driving? You see what I'm saying? So it was in the same field. There's the problem. I don't know how he's gonna respond to that. Everybody's different, you know. I have no that I don't know. But we saw a lot of amazing fights, right? So I was talking about like um, you know, this Teal card too. Let me catch up. Happy New Year's, brothers. Absolutely. To everybody out there, Happy New Year's, especially Hugo. You know what I'm saying? Hugo.
He needs some milk.
Hugo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, I'm gonna drop the chat early right now. Um, I was just bringing up a couple topics about what y'all think about some of these fights, what you guys would like to talk about, what fights. The Amanda Serrano card is popping off. Absolutely, that card is popping off in Puerto Rico. That'll be tomorrow. Let me scroll up here and check out that Amanda card. You know, um, for the most part, that Shakur Stevenson card with Tio is the best card right now, opening the year. You know, uh, yeah, I think that that's the best card. Amanda Serrano, you know what I mean? Them out in Puerto Rico, the girls. Holly Holmes going for a female world title. That's gonna mark an interesting moment for women's sport. I think. You know how many titles Holly Holm has? She's like a fucking decorated fighter. As far as fighters go, she's one decorated fighter. Holly Holmes in combat sports all around, whether it's jujitsu, kickboxing. Let me put on my headset so I can hear you, brother. Hold on. What's up, man? Maybe I got an echo. Hello, you there?
Yes, yes, yes,
How you
yes.
doing? How you doing, brother? Yeah, we're sitting here talking about right now. I was breaking down the Amanda Serrano card and Holly Holmes and what this means for female boxing. It's a big moment right there. Uh, there's a couple great um fights here on this card. Young fighters coming up that I'm looking at, but like the bigger cards and the bigger names. Oh yeah, what's his name? Liam Paro's also fighting that month. He's fighting on the 16th. Liam Paro. He's fighting. Oh no! That got canceled.
Got
Fuck.
cancelled.
It got canceled. Shit. I just saw it on the side. That's right.
Damn
Ah,
it.
yep. And then, yo, what's up? The Raymond Morataya versus Andy Cruz. I like that fight right there. You know, there's another fight. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Uh, what card is he fighting on? I was looking for this. Young Paul Rivera. He's fighting on the Amanda Serrano card. Um, where's he fighting? Subriel Matias Dalton Smith. Um, Alfredo Santiago versus Henry Cedeño. That's a crazy fight right there, because you know, I like Henry Cedeño, but let's see who wins out of that. Emmanuel Rodriguez too. I want to see him back in action. Of course, I want to see my boy Keith Cologne in action. He's shooting an 8-round fight right there, and that's January 10th. The Subriel Matias card.
Oh,
But
that's
I'm
a
looking for a
fight.
young yeah. I'm looking for a young man that I'm trying to find out what card he is. I thought he was on the Amanda Serrano card. I'm looking for, maybe you guys can help me. Juanita Lopez. Oh, right. No. Where is he fighting at? What card? Oh, I think he's fighting on the Xander card. He's fighting on the Xander card, which is going to be the
In the
same day
demand.
Stevenson, yeah. He's fighting on the Xander card, and Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez is be going against Xander Zayas, and Xander is fighting in Puerto Rico on the same day, on the
The
31st.
same day.
Yeah, that's fucked up because they're fighting, because usually this would happen, go figure, right, with Subir Matias. And Subir Matias apparently has the night for that night in boxing, because the last Subir Matias fight, he was going up against, I think, Tank Davis, and then the one before that, he went up against Tank Davis again. Um, so he's always had like a fight, a big fight in front of him. When he fought against Liam Parr on Puerto Rico on that same day, Tank Davis fought in Las Vegas. So, it's good that Subir's getting his night by himself. Now we have another scenario where the two big fights are happening, but on the Xander card, I think that by far the Shakur Stevenson card is better on, as far as fights. There are a
And
lot of,
name value.
huh?
And name value.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that their fight is more name value, absolutely, of course, yes. Um, let's see here. Uh, wait a minute. I want to see. You got Bruce Carrington versus Carlos Castro.
Yeah.
Carlos
Huh?
Castro. With a name like that, you should just win the fight with it. Carlos Castro. You sound like you're about to go take over a country or something, right? Very strong name there, you know what I mean? But Bruce Carrington, I think he got his work cut out there. I saw Carlos Castro put down Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton came back in the fight as Stephen Fulton fought good at that weight. He didn't look like the Stephen Fulton against Shotzi Foster, that's for sure, right? So that much, yes, but I don't know how a lot of people think that Bruce Carrington is just gonna like walk this guy down and walk off with this belt. Your mic's a little echoing, is breaking up a little. Um, so I don't, you know what I mean? And then the Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz
Jermaine
fight.
Ortiz. I think Jermaine Ortiz is gonna give him fits though.
I think Jermaine Ortiz just might beat him. Here's the problem with Keyshawn Davis, right? Keyshawn Davis is coming off that fight where he missed weight. They put
And he
him
has
on
a long layoff as well.
Yeah, they put him on the shelf for a little while. He had the long layoff and he's coming back. His mindset, I believe, is always going to be that of a fighter, of a warrior, right? But his like coming back to this new weight, you know, uh, and you got to see, see, Jermaine has been here at this weight. Jermaine has been for real big names already. Jermaine's been battle tested at this weight. Keyshawn has never been, I would say, battle tested for me. You know, he had his share of fights, became world champion. I give him that credit, but where is his Tio on his resume? Where's his Loma on his resume? You
And
know, and,
he
and
messed up the Edwin De Los Santos fight as well.
yeah, he messed up that. So he doesn't get credit for a fight he never got. So, I mean, that would have been a good point where we would have had a measuring stick to see how that came out about. I think that Keyshawn's a very great talent, but um, I mean, who knows? Who knows? You know, like I said, could Keyshawn Davis be that kind of talent that, very early in his career, he always played around or was the top guy because he separated himself from a lot of other young talents by coming out and being great early because he had the ability to do so, right? So that's what I wonder about him. I don't know where I'm at with Keyshawn because, I just don't want to hop on the bandwagon and be like, yeah, 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 Keyshawn's gonna be because he's a name, he's an attraction or something to and
He's
some
still
certain,
unproven.
he's still yeah, that's my problem. He still hasn't been proven for me. And I think that Jermaine Ortiz has been in situations like this, and he knows what it's like to be on the losing end of these situations and how to bite down on the mouthpiece and fight strong, not to allow the fight to slip away from you anymore. And I've talked even to Jermaine Ortiz about situations like this and what did he learn from his experience in the ring and with To, and how did he feel about these fights and stuff. And you know um you know this is going to be a real test for Keyshawn Davis. I think that Jermaine is definitely one of the more, yeah, he's probably going to be the best boxer he's ever came or technician that he ever came across. I don't think that
Plus,
Jermaine,
Jermaine Ortiz is very athletic as well.
yeah, he's athletic, but have you seen lately his fights lately? He hasn't been running around the ring. He's been standing right
Yes,
in front of the guy. And
he's
he's
been
been,
landing with more power shots.
yeah, man. And he punches well with both hands. He's got good footwork. He got good boxing etiquette. Jermaine Ortiz. He's defensively sound. You can get to him, but for the most part, his defense is pretty good. Um, he has a little trouble with fast guys. He gets touched up with the jab a little, but he a jab's never held Jermaine Ortiz back. He has a pretty unique jab of his own. So, you know, I could see like a fighter like Richard Hitchens, right? Giving him a little trouble with that jab. And that was the fight I was prepared to watch, but it never happened. So
Mm.
now we got the two guys that Hitchens could not work out for whatever reasons, could not work out to an agreement. Now these two guys are gonna fight right now. Then you got Carlos Adames fighting too as well coming up, and other cards, and we just got a lot of good boxing right now. But
Good
some of the
quality
box,
boxing.
yeah, yes, yes. I don't know. How do you feel that Tank Davis is not in the boxing world of late. And like, how do you guys also see? So I saw somebody text Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is also another guy that, although he is up there in age, right? His boxing record is not. He's not even in double digits. He's getting his first world title shot. And then when you look at the rankings with Keyshawn Davis and Jermaine Ortiz, um, Keyshawn Davis is the number one. He's moving up to a division he's never fought in. And Jermaine Ortiz has been in the division this entire time. Like almost, no, 135, but like now he's been there. And
This is going to be Keyshawn's first fight at 140.
yeah, but Keyshawn Davis is coming into that fight on the ranking. Keyshawn Davis is the number one for the WBO. And that's it. And then I think the highest ranking that Jermaine Ortiz got is a number 7 ranking, or number 8 ranking for the IBF. And that's crazy. How Keyshawn Davis
Crazy.
got that ranking like all the way up there, and then nobody wants to talk about that shit. They just want to point out when the WBC does shit. You know what I mean? And for like, whatever. But when certain fighters get up, they're like, don't say nothing. Like, but that's crazy because
Exactly.
they're all over Ryan Garcia for getting a title shot with Mario Barrio. You should hear the internet.
Yeah, yes, but Keyshawn Davis is ranked number 1 by the WBO and he hasn't fought in the division yet.
No. And then the only belt that he had was in a lower weight division by the same sanctioning body, yes. But how do you merit him a number 1 and feel comfortable with that as an organization and say, no, he's popular. He lost the belt, but so we're just gonna give him the number 1 ranking in a new weight division he's never fought anybody in. So
What you need to understand is people only nitpick certain people. They'll nitpick Ryan Garcia, but they're not going to nitpick, oh, Keyshawn is number 1 by the WBO. Then they don't care.
No. Look. When Sabrina Matias was the number 1 and he was coming up in the ranking to fight Richard Hitchens, they went and snuck in George Camboza from Australia.
Exactly.
They brought him up and gave him that ranking and justified the fight. The boxing world, we were like, "Yo, what the fuck is this? What's going on here? And then, and they're all over him. They're like, nah, this is bullshit. Boxing is corrupt. This and that. Then the other night, I watched for myself, right? O'Shaughnessy Foster and Stephen Kubo Fulton enter a boxing match, and Stephen Kubo Fulton misses weight. Then all of a sudden, they say, no, this is for the interim WBC 135-pound champion. Neither fighter 35 pounds, right? But yet they let the fight continue. They let O'Shaughnessy Foster keep his belt. They stripped Stephen Kubo Fulton for missing weight. But they still gave him an opportunity. And that night, they awarded him for not being a professional. He came in and
that's the
weight,
problem.
and for missing weight on the spot. Not that you became the number 1 later. Not that you went over here. We'll promise you a belt. On the spot for being a non-professional, we're going to award you with an interim title shot tonight. That's what we're going to do for you. But no, you know what I'm saying? The boxing world picks and chooses who they want to fucking single out. When Ryan Garcia,
it's like you said, the boxing world picks and chooses. If it's certain guys that don't ignore it,
right after him, hey Ryan, bye. And then you got fighters like the Japanese do Naoya Inoue, and all of a sudden he's got loaded hand wraps, right? I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm just nodding my head. I'm just like, oh my God. You guys not been watching him or not follow him? Just say that. Just say that. And I'll hit you with
there's nothing wrong with his hand wraps. He follows the rules.
the rules. It's like you're you're acting like you're saying he's doing stacking or loaded hand wraps and the other guy is not. That's far from the truth. Whatever he does, he can do. And remember when they
Bernard
told him,
Hopkins did the same thing. Bernard Hopkins,
no,
but you never hear people say, "Oh, Bernard Hopkins the cheater."
right, no, and then when they have him do it over, do it the way they want, he goes and pitches a shutout, right? Okay, then my evidence is this. Oh, he didn't get the knockout. Well, he didn't knock out MJ in his last fight neither. So rather than you guys say that his competition is getting stronger, people are getting to him. And in his other two fights or three fights, he got dropped twice. So rather than saying that the division is getting tough for him, he's in his fifth weight division, rather than recognize that he's fighting the who's and he's cleaning out the division. You know how some guys can fight one or two guys in the division, but they won't wipe out the division because we all say these guys are the big guys for the division. They're big for the division. So he goes and does all of that. The power puncher, the speed guy, the slick guy, all the guys. He beats them all, right? But in doing so, he pitches a shutout, wins all 12 rounds. And can you believe they came back and said, "Oh, there has to be something funny with this guy because now he's not getting a knockout." And I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" He went 11 rounds with Marlon Tapales. He went 8 rounds with Stephen Kubo Fulton. He went 12 rounds with MJ, and he went 12 rounds with David Allen Picasso. Are you guys not watching this shit? He got dropped by Luis
But it's
Pompey Hernandez. He got dropped by
but it's
Roman Cardenas. It's it's crazy. It's crazy. Like to try to discredit somebody, and then you know how far some of the fans go, right? How far they'll go. They'll even go as far as putting down another fighter or discrediting or not even seeing what the other guy did just to say that that guy sucks in order to put him down. They gotta make him seem like trash. So what did they do? They didn't call him the number one.
called
They
him a
called him
prospect.
prospect because they gotta sell it to you. In order to throw that word prospect, it means not that good. So if you're being told by your favorite podcaster that this guy was a prospect and he's blatantly avoiding the number one mandatory in the order that was given by the WBC. Is that not true? So when you enter the top 15, are you still a prospect or a contender? A contender is a fighter that's contending for a world championship. Am I correct? So how does he get all the way up to number one, get a mandatory, an order, and still be called a prospect? It's because obviously they're diminishing one guy to try to diminish the bigger one. What they will
Josh
not
Perry was a prospect when he fought Shakur Stevenson. He was
right?
outside the exactly,
Yes,
but they punished
yes.
Shakur Stevenson for beating Josh Perry.
Oh no, no, he wanted all the praises in the world. Oh no, Shakur's back. He showed his complete dominance. You heard him talking. I commended Josh Padley for taking that fight on short notice and saving that fight. As far as Josh Padley as a fighter, shouts out to you, bro. I commend you for that. Wasn't easy getting in front of Shakur Stevens. You were gonna get your ass whooped, and nobly he did. But just give credit where credit's due. I gave Shakur Stevenson credit. He did look good. He hurt his hand. I saw it. He had a great performance, but not against top tier guys. On to the next. We can move. And then he did that performance against William Cepeda. Shakur was back. He got stunned in the fight, but still great performance. Shakur Stevenson rocked out there in New York. I was there live. I watched that fight live, and I saw Shakur Stevenson in the ring live. And boy, he's pretty good. He's a little better than pretty good. So and the way he was making Cepeda miss and slip, and he stood right in front of him the whole night. I gave Shakur Stevenson a bit more credit for that fight because I didn't expect him to stand in front of him. I thought he
Yes,
was going to
but
use his legs a
you
little
see,
bit. I thought he was going to move more than what he did. And I was just like, oh shit, Shakur's banging with him, and that's what I saw, and that's what he did. So I had to give him credit for that. And
But you know,
so
Zapata,
yep,
Zapata and Picasso were the same record, but they
yeah,
don't call Zapata prospect, but they call Picasso prospect, and I've
absolutely. See where I was
identified.
going? Yeah. Hey, yo, frontline, how you doing, brother? Get up here, man. Come up
First of
here.
all, Happy New Year to
Happy
everybody. Shout
New
out to
Year.
you. Shout out
New Year, brother.
to the chat. I seem. I hope I'm saying your name right.
My name is
Shout out
Amin.
to
I mean,
I mean. Shout out to
There we
you.
go.
Shout out to everybody. Hey, I noticed the past two lives.
yep,
I missed them, but I rewatched them. Where
yep.
the fuck Hugo at? He had my name in his mouth a couple times.
Yo, a few
I gotta
times.
address that motherfucker, boy.
Listen, he came up. He afterwards he was like, "Listen, I'm not saying anything, but I think I
Hugo
should
is
be
part of the
host."
machine.
I was like, "What, Hugo? What do you what? Why, yo?"
I saw you say, yo, how is frontline name being involved in this? He's not even in the chat. He wasn't even
He's
I
not
wasn't
here
even
to
in the
defend
room.
himself. You know what I mean? Oh man, I'm like, do us
Hey,
all a favor and read some of these chats for us.
yeah, that's why I jumped up because I
Absolutely.
noticed. Okay, so we're gonna start from the very bottom. Towers, round one. What's
Uh,
up? Hugo, salute. Dave Maldonado watching from Facebook says hello, Star. Hello, TBV. Your crash out was crash out of the year. LOL. Blaze pound for pound says round one. Salute. Jake Paul has no business getting in the ring with AJ. Inouye had four title defenses in 2025.
man,
This is all from Blaze. Hugo says, salute to the new 168 WBA champion Armando El Toro Resendez. Blaze says, Jose deserves that elevation to the WBA champ at 168. I want to see him. He defended. He got a motor. Uh,
that would be a good one too, because and then that will get a Latin champion up there again at 168. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I had Joe's. Oh, go ahead. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
now you can go on.
Oh, okay, okay. Ahijos says Teofimo Lopez to outclass Shakur Stevenson. We will touch on that in a little bit. Blaze says Jermaine is the real deal. This is going to be a good fight under those bright lights of MSG. Round one, we all seen Jermaine hold his own against Loma and Tio. Hit the like button, says Blaze. Round one, don't let Keyshawn's animation fool you. You see, Keyshawn was in the fight. It was in fight shape.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's my wait 1 second right there. That's my concern, Blaze. Like, okay, check this out, right? Whenever it could go two ways. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I should talk about both ways. It could be that he's in amazing shape, focused, laser focused. He's been thinking about this moment and his return, and he don't give a fuck what name it is. He can't wait to get in there, whoop some ass. It could be that way, which I hope it is. Right? I want to see an amazing fight. But sometimes my spider senses go off when I'm seeing these athletes come out and they're flexing, and I'm like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to tell me? Yeah, like you ever hear that guy? I run 10 miles every day and gas out in 3 rounds.
mhm.
You know, I do all this muscle, and then all of a sudden, his punches look more neighbor. It's the fourth round. You know what I mean? Like, right? Okay, muscles. Like when I one time I got into a fight, and I actually said this to the guy. I swear to God, he took off his shirt. He was pretty jacked. He was big, but I was big myself. But he took it off, and it just came out. I said, "Well, what do you think you're gonna do? Bench me? You're gonna curl me? Like, what is those muscles gonna do for you right now?" You know, in my head. So that's when he was like, raw. I was like, what are you gonna bench me? You're gonna curl me? Well, we were gonna fight. Like I didn't that going like this. What did you look? Let me see you hitting the pads. Let me see you sparring. Let me see you hitting the bag. Let me see you moving. How is your feet and your hands moving at the same? Let me just shadow box a little bit. It tells you a lot. But what he did,
Muscle doesn't mean anything without
he went
skills.
like this. He went, ah,
By him,
ah,
hey, by him doing
ah.
that, he gassed out.
And he probably got
Exactly.
out of going up to the screen. Get the fuck out of here. You see that? Well, when he did that, he didn't show me anything boxing. Like he didn't show me knocking out a sparring partner. Bow, I'm back, motherfucker. Businessman, what? I'm like, oh shit, they knocked the dude out. But he started flexing. And I'm like,
Let
I'm
me tell you
looking at
something.
the time, the window. I'm looking how much time was left. Remember, I was in Las Vegas, bro. I was there. I went there with Ness. Keyshawn Davis was scheduled to be in the Top Rank training facility in there with Bomac. They didn't make it. They said they got there the next day or the day after. Then when Bomac got there with Keyshawn, they finally got the cameras in there and everything. Go look at Bomac's interview. Bomac was going, he was counting the weeks. He was like, how much weeks? 4 weeks. Yeah, we'll get him in shape. He came and missed weight in that fight and had that whole episode. So Bomac knew the Keyshawn wasn't disciplined. He was out partying the fruits of his labor of becoming a new champion.
That's why they say you can't play boxing.
In your very first title shot, you do that. In order for you to justify what happened, he had to be like, oh, I didn't want to be champion anyway. I don't want to pay sanctioning fees. Bullshit.
Keyshawn is unprofessional.
Now what you're trying to do is, rather than just come out and say, yo, man, I fucked up, he doubled down on his bullshit in a different way. But that's what that's called, double downing on your bullshit.
Exactly.
So as of that moment, the last impression that I got of Keyshawn Davis wasn't a fight. And let's just remember, okay, I'm not being harsh on the man, because if this was like the first time Keyshawn was ever in some shit, then I would, come on, let's give the guy a break. But this is a pattern. He has 2 fights that he got DQ'd for what? Testing positive for marijuana. So he did it one time. He didn't learn his lesson. He did it again, right? So far, he hasn't tested positive marijuana. Why? Because they lifted from boxing now. So he's probably still high. Because now he could get away with it, right? So did he learn his lesson? Apparently not.
No.
Because now he lost his belt. And then after that, he went into the locker room with his brothers to fight the guys. Not only that, he did all of that with his newborn infant child in a hallway in a stroller. Y'all remember that, right?
That is
So-
scam. Careless of that.
So how much, if anybody thinks that I'm being harsh, when do we stop enabling his kind of behavior?
You
When
hit
do
the
you
nail on the
tell
head right there.
Yo, enough
You're not
is
harsh,
enough.
brother. You're just telling the truth.
I'm not
That's-
I'm being a little critical, but
No,
no.
you hit the nail on the head right there. The problem is that these fans, they think that shit is
Yes.
cute, bro. It's a sport. You're a
Bro,
fucking
you got
role
your
model.
baby in
You're
a
a role
hallway, my
model to the
man,
whole
dog.
fucking world.
That
People
is
want to
your
be
blood.
boxers. Yes.
Bro, I lose my mind, bro.
All right. While you lose your mind and you have your little
Right.
your crash out of the year, I'm gonna continue with the chat. Low key says Keyshawn ducking all the smoke. Cruz, Mortaya, and Mercado want that smoke. QS17 says, thank God he didn't fight Tank. JWC, hey Hugo, don't you have a day job, brother?
Yo, come on, Hugo. Where you at? I don't
Nah,
what's going
Hugo can't right now. He
on?
can't because I'm here. Blaze says Tank versus Paul was an exhibition. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Hugo Juice says, of course, I have a
What?
day job, but it's New Year's, so I don't work until Monday.
Mm.
Then he asked JW if he's got a job. Round one, Blaze pound for pound says round one, Jake Paul literally ran himself in exhaustion, fell 13 times and got caught with a clean right cross that broke his jaw. Jake has been a joke.
Yeah.
He's always
Brandon,
been a joke.
I'm coming for my 90 million pimp. Salute.
Yo, chill right there for a second, guys. Before you guys move on from there, right? Okay. There was a part of me that was like, oh, I give Jake Paul credit, this and that, right? And then one dude came and stopped me in my tracks because I was like, look, Jake Paul got no amateur experience. he's basically learning on the job, and he went in there and fought fucking AJ, bro, with no amateur experience, no real pro experience. Yo, that's got it. And then the dude was like, well, I said, when have you ever seen a heavyweight do that? He said, Wardley. He said, Wardley had no amateur experience. Wardley came in, who we
That is
got
the
here?
thing.
Hugo.
I'm
Hugo,
here.
we
I'm
have
here.
him,
Hello.
right?
Hello. Hello.
Hey, yo, hold up. Your mic
I'm
works. Give me a
here.
second.
Yo, fix
Wait.
your mic. Let Edwin
Yeah.
finish his thought. Stop
Yeah. Let me finish.
interrupting.
Yeah.
You
Stop
get put in
interrupting.
timeout.
And time out, right? So my point was this. The reason why I don't view Jake Paul's fight with AJ so much of a success, because I got smacked in the face with the truth. The minute he said Wardley, Fabio Wardley, I said to myself, fuck. At least every time I saw Fabio Wardley, I saw a better version of him. Every time I saw Jake Paul, I didn't see a better version of him. He gassed out in the Julio Cesar Chavez fight. He gassed out in every fight that he went a little bit of distance. That's been Jake Paul's MO. So if you're not seeing him get better,
Stamina.
then he's a fraud. He's a fraud because he's just using the sport at this point. He's just having his brawl fights because although he's getting better in the fundamentals, yes, you're being more familiar with fighting because you're doing it, right? But when it comes to your conditioning, your preparation, how dedicated was he? When I'm seeing Wardley with no
Yes, it's
amateur
out every
experience,
fight.
nothing. Yo, he went to Paul. He was like, "Come here, Parker. Don't run from me." And Parker is that guy. Look at his fighting background. And
Man,
look at
Fabio, stop it. Stop it. Fabio Wardley was losing to Justin Hooney. He
okay.
was
Oh,
getting
yeah, and he
outboxed.
knocked him out.
Wait,
He
yo,
knocked him
hold
out.
on, guy. Hold
And,
on, real quick.
Hold up, Hugo.
Ju-
We're not talking about Hugo. See, you always interrupt at the wrong time. Hugo, I'm not
Edwin,
judging.
before you get to him, hey Richard, it starts at 5 o'clock. He's asking about the weigh-in for the Amanda Serrano card.
That starts at
The
5.
the weigh-in start at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. So
Go
anyway,
ahead.
look, I'm not saying that Hugo, he had a tough fight, but what I'm saying, my point is this: my entire point, it was that when you see the fighter the next time, you should see a better version. I have to admit, whether or not I saw
Exactly.
better versions of Wardley going throughout his career rather than I saw better versions of Jake Paul going through his career. And just by on the fact of sympathy, or just because AJ was this imposing figure, because your ass is crazy, shouldn't mean I should award you boxing credit. You got balls, kid. You got balls. But in actuality, you're no more of a better boxer than you was in your last fight. You gassed out. You had the same three-punch combination, three punches, selection of punches you were throwing, same shit, same footwork, same gimmick. And that's what came into the fight with AJ, I had to admit.
Has Fabio Wardley ever fought a two-time Olympic gold medalist? Has Fabio Wardley ever fought a unified ex-world champion? Has Fabio Wardley ever gone from cruiserweight to heavyweight, back down to cruiserweight? Answer me that.
Listen.
Why are
Check
we
this out, right?
hyping Fabio
Okay, check this
Wardley?
out. Okay, I will answer that for you. I will answer that for you. Yeah, Fabio Wardley never did any of that, but Fabio Wardley never fought bums. Fabio Wardley fought guys
Exactly.
going up in the boxing ranking division. Fabio Wardley didn't fight guys 30 pound, like you know what I'm saying, and making them cut weight and fighting shorter guys and guys in their 60s. Wardley was fighting
Edwin.
real
Hugo doesn't
contenders.
know the answer to that because Wardley's not Mexican. Had he been Mexican, he would know the
Yes,
answer to that.
yes. Hey yo,
Stop
hey
it.
yo,
Stop
Hugo.
it.
Exactly.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop the
Hey yo,
lies.
Hey
Hugo.
Hugo, you ain't getting away with what you said while I wasn't on here. We gonna touch on that.
Yeah. I'm
You guys
attacking
are
you, dog.
hyping.
Go.
Listen,
We'll
look.
spin the block. We'll spin the block.
Okay,
Sorry,
finish
wrong
up
one.
on the chats. Finish up
All
on the
right.
chat.
Blaze says he replies to Loki. Tito Mercado is my favorite fighter at 140. Tito Mercado's good. Tito Mercado's good. Tito Mercado's last performance, although he got a knockout, he did not look good. And let me tell you something. If he
Stop.
fights anybody in the top 15, no, let me rephrase that. In the top 10, it might be night for him.
Wait, you
Stop
want to
it.
know
I
Stop
agree
something?
with
it.
you.
That's not what
I
that
agree
guy
with
thinks.
you.
That guy thinks Tito Mercado's his favorite fighter at 140, and all that counts for you, my man.
Yeah,
Don't let
no,
no lie change your mind.
I'm not lying. That's
Favorite
his favorite
fighter.
fighter. Yeah, of course.
That's right. Tito Mercado, let's go, baby. You know what I
Tito
mean?
Mercado is the
That guy.
truth. Tito Mercado is the truth. He a future world champion.
Oh God.
All
Remember
right,
that.
go ahead, Frontline,
Oh,
finish.
fuck
Blaze
no.
says hit the like button. Oh, go ahead, Ameem. I'm sorry.
This guy saying Tito Mercado's a future world champion.
Who's your favorite
Oh
fighter?
no.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Hold
Who's
on,
your favorite fighter?
whoa. I'm reading chats here. I'm
Hold
reading
on.
chats. Frontline, continue.
Blaze says hit the like button. He also says support the work. Chino comes in and says Happy New Year, me brother. Hit the likes. Ameem says send the link. Jake paused somewhere high off that pain medication, says Blaze. QS says in a way one of the goats. JWC's
Yeah.
wired women's mouth would be defining. I don't know what the fuck that meant.
Yeah.
What's wrong with protein shakes? Question mark says the JWC. QS says Hope Carrington wins. So in a way, can't. He said it can't destroy him later. Can't. Hope Carrington wins, so he can. Oh, he fixed it. He fixed it, so he can destroy him later.
Before he
Uh,
can. Yes. Go ahead.
Bud never been battle tested either. That's a hit or
He
miss.
fought.
That's a hit or miss statement because
He
yes, he's
fought. He
never
fought. He
defended.
fought. Yeah,
He's
He
never
fought.
defended, but he's beat the champion. So it's like
Yeah.
a catch-22 with that statement.
Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
Off strength, Andy Cruz is the best boxer he faced, and he lost twice. Talking about Keyshawn.
Yep.
Ortiz don't fight to win; he fights to not lose. I already answered Richard. The Axe voice was good round one. JWC says, name me any other amateur fighter with 48 KOs in 81 fights. Amateurs.
Mhm. All right.
Work hard, chill. Tito has been fighting lower level fighters. Pedraza and the last guy came on, man. Tito always calling out Shakur and Keyshawn for attention. Facts.
Whoa.
JWC says, in a way, 75 wins, 6 losses, 46 wins by KO.
And the
Shows
amateur.
he shows he had power when he was younger and still going good.
Yep. And they asked
Uh,
to check his hand wraps them too.
Amir Carter says, all Tito needs is an opportunity, and when will that happen? We don't know.
With Jermaine, he's talking about that Tito.
No, he's talking about Tito Mercado.
Mercado.
Yeah.
Mercado.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Well. He's gonna get his opportunities. They're gonna come. You know,
They're gonna come, bro.
They're gonna,
They're
yeah,
gonna
and
come.
then he better be ready for those opportunities in
I
the
have a
moment. That's
question.
what I talk about. Yeah, what was that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Tito Mercado can beat Adam Azim?
Oh man, what, bro?
That'll be a good
Fight.
test. That'll be a good
That's
test.
why'd you have to say that? Why'd you have to put him against Azim, man? Already,
Man,
like,
stop it, round one. Stop it, bro. Stop making
I
it seem
was
like Adam
asking.
Azim is this. Stop making it seem like Adam Azim
they're
is
on the
this big
same
killer.
level. They're on the same. That's a
They're on
scary
the
fight.
same level.
50-50. What are you talking about?
I know.
Come on, Hugo.
They're on
I
the
think
same
Azim
level,
chopped
but
him up,
stop.
bro.
That's a scary fight right now. It's a great fight. Yes, okay.
That'll be a good test to get his name
but
up.
I like Azim. I don't want to see Azim lose neither. What are you talking about?
Azim,
I think Azim will chop him up, bro.
Who Adam Azim, the guy that gets guys in a 2-week notice, the guy that recycles fighters.
Adam Azim is fighting paper competition.
Come on, bro. Come on. You can't say
Listen.
that.
Stop it.
Let me tell you
Next
something.
fight is gonna be versus
The
Gustavo
guy pulled
Lemos.
out of his fight.
How many times has Gustavo Lemos been life or death with a fighter? Stop it.
Well,
who fights the better opposition?
I didn't want to see neither. That's just like Tiger Johnson, and put him against the Dominican fighter Rohan Polanco. I didn't want because I didn't want to see neither of them lose. I like Rohan, but I like Tiger Johnson, bro. It's kind of like the same shit for me. And you're like, stop it,
But
Edwin.
the thing is,
I'm like, no, I'm not saying
Adam Azim fights better opposition.
no way that I said that they weren't on the same level. I think they are.
Hugo, let me ask you something. Do you give Tito Mercado credit for beating Jose Pedraza?
Come on.
No, I don't give him credit to the fully
He's a
extent.
former world champion, though.
Okay, so I give him a credit for a former world champion, but Keyshawn Davis had ran through that already. Now let's keep in mind
What are you talking
that
about? If anybody, you're gonna say Tank Davis ran through that because
okay,
Tank
you're right.
Davis is the one
Okay,
that put the real ass whooping on him.
okay, you're right for
Exactly.
that one. You're right for that one. And my whole point here is that he did it less and in a shorter time than those two fighters. That's what I'm trying to say here, bro.
Okay,
He
well
got him
then
out of
say
there
that.
quicker.
Well, say that. You never said it.
Hey, I gotta read what JWC wrote. This shit is fucking hilarious.
What's
So
up?
earlier in the chat, he asked Hugo if Hugo got a day job. Hugo responded that he's on vacation. He won't be back till Monday. And
Yeah.
then Hugo asked him, "Does he work?" So he just replied. He said, "Don't need a job, Hugo. I am retired, so I can watch the boys take you to task on your Google app, brother."
Look, man, check it out
Yo,
here, brother.
Hugo,
Check,
Hugo, you gotta stay away from round one because you're down bad over here, bro.
bro. I cooked round one the last time. I cooked his ass. That boy
Oh
was
my
saying,
God, he
bro,
cooked me the last time.
bro.
Yeah,
No,
he
he
cooked me
didn't.
too when I
Stop.
wasn't here. He cooked me too because I wasn't here.
Yeah, stop it, bro. You were saying that Dimitri Bivol didn't duck Benavides, bro, and I fucking showed you facts from Google. I showed you that he
What are
refused
the
an $8 million
three
offer.
people was
Hey
in the
yo, you
hospital?
you hear the sound effects?
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Hit him. Hit.
Yeah, blah, blah.
Yo,
Stop
Hey,
it,
Round one.
man.
I mean,
Three
I
people was
mean,
in the hospital.
I mean, who's your favorite fighter?
My favorite fighter, no way, no way.
there you
Okay,
go.
so
There
you're
you
in a
go.
Nah,
way.
man, stop it, bro. You're just saying that because
There
you're
you
on this
go.
channel.
Whatever, you know, it's the goat.
Hey
Fuck
yo,
that
you
bitch
don't be
ass.
impacting my guess. You know what I'm saying? If that's who he likes. That's who he likes. Why are you trying to change his mind?
Yo, so
Hugo,
check it
don't do
out.
that.
You
Don't
see
do
that
that.
flag? You see that flag? You see that flag on my picture, right?
Yeah.
So check it out. I'm gonna give you predictions right now. Tito. Jermaine Ortiz versus Keyshawn. Guess who I got?
Who you
Take a
got?
wild guess.
Man,
Key,
you got Jermaine
Jermaine
Ortiz, man. You
Ortiz.
got the technician. You got the
All right,
technician.
all right. Shakur versus Tio. Based on the flag, guess who I got?
Man, you
Shakur
better go for
Stevenson.
Teofimo. Nah, man,
He's gonna
stop
go
it.
for Shakur.
Shakur.
The Tio
Shakur.
ain't no Puerto Rican.
Front lines.
Shakur Stevenson.
Front lines,
Now,
front lines. Please, 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 bro. Give me 30 seconds real quick. Bro,
Dale.
Shakur Stevenson is as Puerto Rican as Najee Lopez. These motherfuckers don't have 1 ounce of Puerto Rican blood
That
in
is
them.
that is not true.
They're
Hold up.
motherfuckers
His
trying to
last
hop on the
name is Lopez.
So what
man.
is he
He ain't no
Mexican?
Puerto.
No,
What
No,
is
he
he
ain't no
no,
Puerto
Mexican?
Rican. Nah, he ain't no
because the
Puerto
real
Rican or
name,
Mexican.
he
He's
has
just doing
none.
that to hop on the bandwagon and to steal your money.
Yo, Najee Lopez is just like Shakur, half black, half Puerto Rican.
Yeah, but
Mm,
Now,
yeah,
Shakur, just so you understand, Shakur's biological father,
it's Puerto Rican.
may he rest in peace, last
mm,
name is Rivera.
mm,
Yes.
He is Puerto
He said
Rican.
his
The
own mouth.
problem is that before Shakur's dad passed away, he finally got to meet him. They had a few words, to get to know each other, whatever. His father passed away, and that's when he started taking in the Puerto Rican side of the whatchamacallit, which is why that first fight he had at Prudential Center, he came out with the Puerto Rican flag.
It all
mm.
makes sense now. His whole life came to full circle. Once he met his papa, he knew the
Mm.
blood, the sangre called, and then the Latino blood rised in him like a phoenix. Hey, yo,
That's
you
it.
can't take that away from him. You can't take that away from him. You go.
Whatever you guys do with Najee Lopez, please never put him in the ring with Imam Katayev. Katayev will cook that dude alive.
All right, we were never
Stay
talking about that, but
stay
okay.
away from Imam.
Listen,
Bro,
listen.
let me guess. The monster Benavides would cook him too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
hell,
yeah, yeah,
bro, he
yeah.
would destroy him. You
Yeah, the
know damn
Mexican
well that's
monster,
true.
right? The Mexican
Of course,
monster,
yeah, that
according to
Mexican
you.
monster.
The
That
Hey,
Mexican monster
the
can't
Mexican
kill
monster.
David
Set
Morel.
it
Yo,
up.
David
you know
Morrell
what's
would cook his
funny?
ass too.
Hold on, no. I'm gonna correct you on something that was said in the past on this show, and
Mm.
it came from Hugo's mouth.
Yep.
Why do they call? Why is it? The NOA has to take the name the monster off? Well, let me educate you real quick in case Edwin didn't do it or it didn't get through
Oh,
to
you
you.
know I did.
Number one, Inoue never considered himself the monster. That name was given to him by the people, the
Yeah.
fans.
Mm.
Yep.
David the Monster Benavidez, on the other hand, he gave himself that
No,
name.
that's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah,
That's
he did.
another lie. Mike
Okay, who gave him
Tyson.
that name? You did,
Mike
The
Hugo?
Tyson.
truth.
Mike
The
Tyson.
Yeah,
Mike
truth.
he's
Tyson
gonna
gave him
try to
that name.
say Mike Tyson gave him the name, right? But the
Mike Tyson
problem,
gave you know the name.
check it out, check it out. The problem with that was before Mike Tyson did that podcast, already being announced as David
The
the Monster.
Mexican monster. The
Yeah,
Mexican
Bro,
monster.
stop it,
yeah,
round one. Bro, Mike
yeah.
Tyson gave him that name,
No,
and
he
you know
didn't,
that
bro.
too.
No, he didn't, man.
Mike Tyson gave Inoue the name as well. You see,
No,
this kid's a
no, he
monster.
blessed, Mike Tyson blessed the name for Inoue, but he didn't give it to him. Inoue got that name from Japan, from
Because he was
Japan.
knocking people out like it was nothing.
The reason why they gave Inoue that because they when they saw him fight when he was a little kid, they was like, man, you're a monster. But Inoue never liked that name. He didn't like it express. He didn't understand it, but he couldn't get rid of it because his performance were so dominant. He was like Naoya Inoue was ahead of his time, and he
True.
proved that. He proved that when he started his professional career by only 6 professional fights, he was a world champion in only 6 fights. And from 6 fights, since then, he's been a world champion this entire time.
Exactly. Since 2014.
Um, yeah, no, 26 fights later, he's on fighting for 4 belts in his last 6 fights. He fought for 4 belts. So it's what Inoue did out the gate is unprecedented because that's where you see like real special fighters that take off. We haven't seen that, like even Mayweather. But Mayweather was a special fighter because I got to admit, at the time in the era, Mayweather was the first boxer out of his Olympic team to fight for a world title.
Mm.
Okay, and then the gentleman, like even after that, right? That's why I say that Mayweather is like he's like um his story is real underrated as far as like his true passion for the sport. Because for instance, I know that the guy's name was Hernandez, right? But I just want to do his due diligence because he's dead, so I gotta look him up. Wait, give me 1 second. Let me type up Floyd.
Yeah, don't let fucking Hugo come in here with that Google shit.
Okay, check this out. Check this out right
Man,
here.
you know Google
No,
searches
no, 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 no.
Look,
incredible
look, look,
everything.
look.
I
All
gotta look.
facts.
Wait, wait,
Listen, hold on. All facts,
yep.
no opinion. Shout out to All Facts, no opinion. He says Inoue is defending his undisputed titles, something Bud never did.
Mm.
Nice. Check this out. Check this out. Right.
And then Malgucci, I got something for your ass next. Go ahead, Edwin.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna start cooking
Yeah.
people in point
Yeah.
five
Yeah.
speed.
He was Mexican. He was Mexican. He was an American, a U.S. Mexican. But I wanted to see if Hernandez was Mexican. I wanted to see if he was from he's from California, right? And the reason why I bring him up because that was Mayweather's first title. He fought Hernandez at 130. Hernandez was the best 130 pounder in the world at that time. He was undefeated there. He moved up. He lost, but in that weight division, nobody beat him. Mayweather fought him and beat him, right? And then
Mm.
soon after that, he retired. I think he retired shortly after that. I think that was his last fight. He fought one more time. No, that was his last fight. Mayweather was his last fight, and he fought Mayweather at 100 pounds. The reason why I tell this is because that man is Mexican. He died, and Mayweather paid for his funeral.
Mm.
Mayweather paid his mom, his family, and silently throughout the years, Mayweather sent her money
No
because
way.
that
For
was the
real?
first. Yes, that was the
Oh
first
shit.
man to give him a shot at a world title at a young man. That started his legacy. That's where it all
Damn.
started from. Hernandez. And
Oh shit, bro.
Mayweather showed that man mad respect. And when he passed away, passed away
All
unfortunately
right,
at funeral
listen.
anyway.
Speaking of respect, Malgucci. I'm gonna let one slide. I'm gonna let one slide because you probably new here. I never seen you here before. One thing we don't talk about in here is people's mothers,
Oh nah
their
nah nah.
kids, or
Yeah,
their
nah nah.
family.
Yeah.
So you want to get disrespectful? Get your wet back ass back out the fucking country,
Ah,
bitch ass nigga.
Yo,
Come on, bro. You don't do two bads don't make a right, bro. Come on.
Now
How you gonna
fuck
say that,
that.
Frontline?
nah,
How you gonna say
Fuck
that,
don't
that.
let
Papi?
him, don't let him bring you down
Yo,
for
he
don't let him
said
bring you
And
go.
the
down.
Listen. He said go eat bananas. Move
Don't
your
don't
mama
repeat
out
what
the
he said.
island.
Don't he doesn't deserve it.
We
Frontline, we're better than
Mexicans
that.
move our mama out the hood. Bum.
Yo, we're better than that Frontline.
Bro, just
You
time him
need
out.
to
Just
be
time him
better
out.
than
No, I
that.
don't
Round
time
one.
nobody out. I don't time
No,
nobody
no,
out.
no, 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 no. I want you to kick him out right
Yeah,
now.
bro. Kick him out,
Right
round one.
now.
Kick him out, bro, because I'm
Right
not
now.
gonna be
Yo,
right here
Hugo,
neither,
it's
brother.
my
I'm
show.
Mexican,
My
dog.
show,
So like,
Hugo. It's my show. Do me a favor, get rid of that right now. I've never
but
asked
the
for
thing is,
anybody myself to kick anybody out or time anybody out, but there's a first time for everything.
mm,
What I do
the-
here in my podcast, I take pride in what I do. We're not always right around here. We don't always agree, but I give you a
mm.
platform where you can
Yeah,
come and
we talk
discuss
boxing
and talk
here.
about your boxing, and that's what I
boxing.
do. That's what I do. You don't have to agree with me or nothing. Come up here and speak your mind. I'm not gonna try to change your mind on your boxer. I'm not a used car
Hey,
salesman.
and
If you
Hugo,
want to
just for
promote your
future
boxer,
reference, I'm a
come
What's
and
up,
talk
bro?
for him.
I'm a type of dude that's eye for an eye. You come low, I'm gonna come lower. That's how I roll. But
Nah, I feel
anyways,
you,
moving
dog.
forward. All right, let's move
Yeah,
But
on.
go, go, go.
but you know what the problem is? When Inoue outboxes people, they say, "Oh, he didn't stop the guy." But when Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney wins the decision, oh, it's a masterful hand.
Yeah. It's
Because
always
they're
gonna be
fighting.
like that.
Stop
It's
it.
gonna
Because they're
always be
fighting
like
world
that.
champions. They're fighting former world champions. They're
Like,
fighting
what is
unified
Inoue fighting?
champions.
Tell me, what is Inoue fighting? He's fought champion after champion, so shut your mouth.
Listen, let me
Bro,
Eh,
tell you something right now.
Picasso was never a champion.
Okay, hold on,
Yeah,
Hugo,
Stop
Hugo,
it.
Hugo,
Shooter, not a
Hugo,
world champion.
Hugo.
MJ,
Your your
MJ,
point, Hugo.
MJ,
Your
what was
point is
MJ?
meaningless. Your point is meaningless, Hugo. You can't be a champion when he has all the belts.
mm,
And
but
then do you?
but he
And then
MJ
could
look,
have
was a
been a champion.
unified champion. Round one, MJ was a unified champion. Then they say, oh, MJ wasn't anything.
yeah. Correct. He just fought
Stupid
a former
people.
world champion, a former unified champion, the guy
Who
that
MJ?
used to have those two belts that lost to Marlon Tapales. He beat
Mm.
them
And
both.
then we killed Marlon
Hugo, you're
Tapales.
crazy. You're copy and print.
Bro, I'm not
Stop
copying print
confusing
anything, dog.
Hugo,
that
you down bad.
blasphemy
Yo, shout
here.
out to Bulbos. Bulbos, listen, my bad. I wasn't in here last time. I know some shit went down. I'm gonna talk to Koki about that. You shouldn't be getting timed out for opinions. I
Yeah.
got you.
What happened?
Yeah,
Oh man,
Coquise
that's
a little fast
nasty.
on the trigger. You know what I'm saying? These are
Yeah, yeah,
my little
yeah.
biased guys, but you know what I'm saying? Look, guys, we're working to be a better community. You know, we're all getting familiar with each other. I tell the guys every day, look, don't time guys out for their opinion. As long as they keep it within the guidelines of shit talking, then I can't be mad at that. If
Mm.
they're but don't feed into what they feel. But if they're attacking me, if they're attacking the panel, if they're attacking the show in a way that
That's
like
out of boxing.
it's out of box,
Then you gotta go.
we have to do something about it because I'm trying to build a safe platform and shit. Look at I don't get bent over it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
Shushu
saying?
beats the shit out of anyway. See, that's
Listen,
normal
one
shit talk.
line's always on. See with that bullshit right there. You
That's
hear
normal
that?
shit talk. You see,
You
you
hear
see
that?
how you getting
Man,
mad?
Bad
That's
boy,
normal
right?
shit
Man,
talk.
It is
Shushu's gonna lose
opinion.
against
It
Carlos
is
Castro.
opinion.
Stop it.
So I get it all the
It is
time.
Shushu's gonna
opinion.
lose.
I allow it because Frontline would have been off the show a long time ago if I was biased. So
It
you
is
guys
opinion.
keep it in the realm,
Hey
and we
yo,
cool.
listen, you know why? Listen, Pillowfish. The reason why the mama shit is disrespect for us Puerto Ricans at least. A mother's something that we treasure like
Okay, first of all, you don't even
heavy.
have to go that
No,
far.
no, no, no. I'm just saying, like
How
for an
about this?
example, and
Wait. Frontline, I know you want to do it. I know you want to do it, but here's something I'll share with you. My mom's dead.
mine is too. That's why
And
I'm
my,
saying.
and my mom died in my arms. I actually watched her take her last breath.
Me too.
Mm.
I,
So I
I
don't. I look. I don't want. I can be a lightheaded. You might catch me on a bad day. I don't know, but
right.
some people, as far I don't know where it is. So why don't we just eliminate all that?
Yeah,
It's
we
not
just keep
Yeah.
that.
the boxing in here.
Yeah. Look. I don't want to be that guy. You say the wrong thing to some crazy person about their mom, and they just lost him yesterday, and he legitimately gets in a car and like tracks you down or some shit
For
or
real.
for real on some dumb shit. Like we don't need that in our life. Not over no
You were
box
part of the machine.
fighters. We actually never met. I never met Inoue. I never actually like met him. All right. I never met Terrence Crawford like that. Like, I've seen them at fights. Yeah, I seen Terrence Crawford standing right there. I saw Inoue in the ring, but I never met them. So as an adult, I pick and choose my battles. I love an
Mm.
argument. I've been chewed
Mm.
out before. I've been
Mm.
yelled out before. That doesn't bother me. That shit don't bother me. All right.
Multiverse. We're, we're,
Yeah,
we're we're speaking in general. It's not just one race over the other. The difference is in America, for an example, there's a lot of like me growing up, for an example. We used to have yo mama jokes all the time. It was part of us growing up. But
Mm.
this day and age, people are way too sensitive. So we just prefer to just keep it boxing here and
yeah,
not talk about family members, mothers, fathers, kids, none of that shit. It's boxing. If you're gonna talk shit, talk your shit. Nobody's stopping you. But we're just gonna keep it boxing.
yeah. And,
Uh,
and also, what we don't do around here is we don't make fun of people's, conditions like my own. You know what I'm saying? You know,
right. We
small
don't make
hands.
fun of people that are, slow or handicapped or whatever because they're people in need. We should be fucking helping them,
That's
not
correct.
making fun of them. You know what I'm saying?
And
Um,
and
Man, back to boxing though. Let me get in the
frontline knows.
mix
Hey, yo,
here.
Hugo, I could have been a world champion if I
yep,
didn't
but them
come from
little
some
ass
small hands.
hands.
Yeah. Let me
You
get
know
in
what
the
I'm saying?
mix
I
real
got
quick right
small
here
hand
though.
syndromes,
Let
as
me
you can
get in
see
the
on the
mix. Let me
screen.
get in the mix. Keep it
What you
boxing.
got?
Keep it boxing.
What you
Shout
got,
out.
Hugo?
Shout out to the new 168-pound WBA champion of the world,
Jose.
Armando
Amanda
El Toro
Andes.
Resendiz.
And how long is he gonna keep that for?
Well,
Ah,
bro,
Exactly
trust me,
how
dog,
long?
till we unify. Man, you got, bro, the hate is real here, dog. The hate is real here for the
What
What is
Mexicans.
the
hate? Yo,
issue
But
but
I'm
who's
with
here, but
hating?
I'm here, but I'm here to represent the voice of Mexican and Mexican American boxing, and I'm here to let
Amanda's
you
not
know,
going to be unified.
man, just cut it out. Stop it, stop it, stop
Dude,
it.
Amanda's not going to be unified. I'm just telling you the truth.
hey, he's got the Puerto Rican monster coming up, Edgar
Puta,
Berlanga.
yo,
break the language to make
I just gave
it
him the name, just like everybody else.
correct.
The Mexican
OMG.
monster's Benavidez. Anyways, the Japanese
Got
monster.
knocked
So
out.
why not have a
The
Puerto
Mex
Rican monster, Edgar fucking
because
Berlanga?
because
Why
he
is
ain't no
the
monster. He
Berlanga
got his ass knocked out
the
in New
Puerto
York
Rican
City in his
monster?
own hometown. That's why. Stop it.
He
what?
got killed by Shiraz. Shiraz put him to sleep.
That's
Listen. Why
Shiraz
you
the
okay.
first.
bringing up old shit? You know that Shiraz fight was old. That's ancient history. It's behind us now. Let's look to the future. Mexican Puerto Rican monster Edgar. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
No,
No.
that's not gonna work.
Resendez is bound to knock Berlanga out.
Hey, yo,
Resendez
frontline,
is
you
going to knock him
reaching.
out.
You really reaching,
Look,
frontline.
but
You really reaching. I can't
yeah,
help you too much, frontline.
hey,
I got small hands, front lines.
yeah, hey,
I
you look,
can't
look at
get
what
hands
Bobo
on
said.
this.
Look, hey, look at what Bobo
What, you want
says.
me
He
to give
had
you
a
a hand on this? I
yo.
can't do it, bro. I
Look at
can't tell
look
that
at
to
what
you.
read what Bobo said.
What?
He
What
said
did
I
he
had a
say?
homie in high school like that. They called him manitas.
Ah, don't make
Money.
these manitas, bro. You know what I'm saying? I bet he was dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But he had my same problem. I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender, but small hands,
But
it
how do
prevented
you
me.
guys see
So don't
Jacobson
make fun
and
of
Gabriel
people.
Matias
Don't
going
laugh about my small
in
hands,
Listen,
the
bro.
fight?
It's the
all
experiment.
jokes aside,
Okay?
I got to give it to Team Belanga for giving
For
him
what?
and getting him another title opportunity, bro.
bro,
After a
bro,
loss, you got to give it to their team for working hard.
stop
You
it,
got to
bro.
give it to them.
Stop it, because that's not even true, bro. I spoke with someone that goes to their gym, and they said that fight's not even official yet. So stop trying to take the credit for some bullshit that's not even signed, sealed, and delivered. You
Oh
know, if
shit!
Berlanga
You
loses
you
his
mean
next fight,
Hold on. Let me ask Google. Let me
hold
ask
on?
Google.
ask
Yeah,
Google,
up,
ask Google,
Google, up. Hold
Google
on.
that shit.
Let me see what Google says.
Google that
You
shit.
see what?
Because every time I Google
Google
something,
it. Hey,
I
yo,
cook your
Hugo.
Puerto Rican
We
ass.
need some milk.
Stop spreading the lies.
Hey, yo,
Because Edgar Berlanga will get cooked against Toro. You know
stop
that
it.
too.
Obviously,
Stop it.
Gabalang
Stop
is going to get cooked.
you. Listen. By the way, I need a better representative for Mexico boxing
Man,
because
I'm right
Mexico
here.
boxing is the shit.
Man, I'm right
I
here. Man, I'm
But
right here. I'm right
Hugo,
here.
Hugo is crazy. He
I'm
might have been
signing
on the
off.
tequila a little too much. I don't know. I have no idea. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm signing off on all the Mexican boxers and the
You're
Mexican
signing off
American
on him?
boxers.
Hey
Yeah, I got
yo,
the contracts here. I send them
Oh, you got the
electronically or
contracts, Hugo.
physically.
Oh
Yeah,
my
bro.
God. This is
Yes, sir.
crazy. This
Yes,
is
sir. Yes, sir.
listen,
Just
on the third Amanda Serrano card, we got the return of Henry Moncho Lebron
mm,
fighting against Juan Tapia. I don't know if that's a good look for him coming back to fight Tapia, but
I asked you about that the other day. Was it too early for him? And you said no.
well, Henry hasn't lost yet.
I know.
His
Well,
his last fight was against Pitufo Diaz in Puerto Rico,
mm,
which he had the opportunity while he was with Matchroom. He had the opportunity to take that fight against Sugar Nunez, but he didn't take it, and Pitufo took it and went to Mexico to take that fight.
mm.
okay.
I think Henry would have gave Nunez more of a fight than Pitufo, only due to age. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm.
I
Um,
agree.
that's just my opinion.
Man,
We
did you
also
guys? Man, how much did you guys pay this dude to come up and agree with you guys for everything, dude? Come on, dog.
But I,
Hey, yo,
Whoa,
but
whoa, 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 whoa,
Edwards,
whoa.
what are you talking about? Yo,
First of all, Amin hasn't agreed on everything.
on everything.
I
No, he
can
has
agree
not.
with certain things.
You are a lot. You are a straight hater, Hugo. You know.
Hugo's
I
a
just
I
say,
mean, I mean,
bro, he
say what
agrees
you
with you
feel.
guys
If
for
you're not
everything, dude.
cheerleading for Hugo, he don't like you. You know what I'm saying? But he's not going to. All right. All right. Stop it. You got
Hugo,
his
Go ahead.
own mind,
where's
his
your
own
Mexican buddies?
opinion.
I have them come up here. We'll have a debate, no problem.
Listen,
There.
listen, listen.
Well, according to that dude in the chat, I don't got a job. According to that dude in the chat, I
But
don't
I
got a
think
job, so I'm here, right?
Nazarete and Nunes is going to be an insane fight.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a new one. I mean, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a
Who's
good
Navarrete
unification
fighting?
fight. Sugar Nunez
Nunes,
first.
Sugar.
Oh,
Sugar
hey,
Nunez.
frontline. Let me cook
Yeah.
your ass real quick. I don't fucking
Oh,
appreciate your ass saying that Charlie Suarez didn't headbutt my boy Navarrete. You and I both know, bro, that was a headbutt. So stop spreading the false narrative.
Dude,
that
go
was
watch
not a
that fight
headbutt.
again.
That
Go
was
fight.
not a
Wait,
Go watch that
headbutt.
fight again.
That was not a
That
headbutt.
was a clear punch
it
that
was a clean
fucking
Hold
punch.
up, hold up.
grazed.
Hey yo, frontline. I will have that clip up on here live in a second. Now I'm
Thank you.
getting
Front
up.
line. Charlie
His ass
Suarez
wants to bring
connected
it
a
up.
beautiful
I'm
shot to
gonna
the
show the
chest.
public.
Bro,
Live.
that was a clear punch.
That was a
That was
Clean
punch.
Stop it.
shot.
That was
Stop
a
it.
clean
and
punch.
listen,
Stop
even
the
after
cap.
that fight, I'm still a huge Navarrete fan. Don't get me wrong.
Mm.
Navarrete is just a warrior, bro. He's just something else, man. That guy, man,
But
every single
Nazarete should have
fight
lost. He
against
should have
him,
lost.
he fucking wins, bro. Yo, that dude is no joke.
You know why
Mm.
I like Navarrete for multiple reasons. Number one
Why?
is the dude is a fucking machine. He doesn't stop.
Mm.
Number two,
Exactly. First punch at awkward angles.
that was number two. The way he throws his punches from different angles and fucking so unpredictable. I like that shit.
Mm.
His power is underrated. Yes, he doesn't have one punch knockout power, but the volume that he throws, bro, it's ridiculous.
Mm.
Now, the downfalls to Navarrete is his gas tank ain't the best. He,
Mm.
he
And
he
that could
tends
get
to
him in
gas out
trouble.
later on.
That could get him in trouble against Sugar
Um,
Nunez. Sugar
and
Nunez
and
is
and Pillow Fist, yes, you are right. That fight against Wilson, he lost that fight, bro. The ref gave him extra fucking seconds to recover
Extra
it.
seconds. He was knocked out on his feet. He was
Yes,
knocked out
There
on
yes.
his
you go.
feet, baby.
There
Navarrete
you
should have
go.
lost that fight.
There you
And
go.
again, I'm a Navarrete fan, but facts is facts. We're not here with feelings. We're not here with the fucking opinions. We're here with facts.
Well, boxing is a subjective sport, so every
No, not when it's
fight is
bluntly like that
different.
in your face.
no,
It's
but
not.
no.
He was
When it's in
about
However,
front of
to
your
So
get his
eyes.
upsets.
Bobos, yes, he did end up knocking Wilson out, but the
Yeah, he
first
stopped him.
knockdown that Wilson got him, Navarrete was hurt.
Nazarete, he
He
was
should.
making one jelly.
Damn, I'm glad Edwin could put that shit up on the screen. Oh,
Uh,
I'm so fucking happy.
oh, no, we putting that shit up on the screen. That's right. That,
Nazarete was doing the chicken dance.
Yes, he was the stinky leg.
what?
man, Dog, you hating on that guy. See, the hate is real here,
We
and
know
I know that.
that.
I know that. I know that, brother. But that's not
Brother, we
gonna.
know that. We're
But
telling you the
but
truth about
but that's not
Navarrete.
gonna push me away from coming in this beautiful platform and speaking about my Mexican
Brother,
fighters, bro. Because
I,
I
I
know he
want to
cook
see.
on you.
I
He
want to
cook
see
on
how
you.
Henry Moncho Lebron comes back after the 1 year layoff that he's had. But dude, that card is stacked. We got Jankiel Rivera.
Bro, El Doctorcito lost his last fight too. He lost the last
It,
fight against that
it,
Venezuelan. He
it,
lost
it,
that
it, was,
fight.
it was a shitty fight. I would agree. I'm not, dude. But guess what? It was a draw.
But he should have lost. He should have lost.
Again, it's subjective, like you said. Um,
yeah,
Ah,
like you said,
that he's fighting the ex world champion. He's fighting Jonathan Bomba Gonzalez. Yo, we got Stephanie Hahn, the police
hold your
officer from
home.
Texas, fighting Holy Home.
that's a cool little
Henry
scrap
LeBron,
right there.
huh?
And then you got that guy, Chop Chop Chaparro,
He's fighting Chop Chop Sabato. Alexis Chop Chop Sabato's fighting Salazar.
and then you got
Jean
Juan
Paul
Paul,
Rivera.
John
Jean
Paul
Paul
Rivera. I
Rivera.
like
He's
that dude.
fighting Alfredo Cruz.
I like that dude, huh? For John Paul. I think he got dropped in one of his fights, and then he came back and he won.
Did you
No,
see what Yamabuki did to Alvarado?
Who?
who?
Yamabuki, the IBF flyweight champion.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
Oh, he
Yo,
knocked out Alvarado bad.
oh wow.
When was that
He
one?
scored two knockdowns in the 11 and the 12.
Mm.
No, I didn't see that. I got to go back and catch that one. We also got Ebony Bridges fighting Alexis Mons.
Uh oh.
Chris
Mhm.
Uh
Crystal
oh.
Rosado's back after the loss against Metcalf.
Bro, I thought Crystal Rosado was gonna win that fight, dude. I thought she was a hot prospect, like coming off, going up against like an older veteran, bro. Bro, I was disappointed.
No, her performance was shitty. I'm not even gonna sit here and sugarcoat it.
Yeah. And then
Uh
you
oh.
also
Uh
got that
oh.
other
Uh
Puerto
oh. Uh
Rican
oh.
too.
Guess what's on the screen, guys?
Uh
Who's this?
oh,
Oh no.
headbutt or clean shot? Let's
Let me
see.
see.
Let's
Play it
see.
in
Let's
slow
see.
mo. Hey, play it in slow mo.
Here we go. Watch. 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 Watch.
Oh, he's faking that his eye hurt.
Look. 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 Hits the jab
Boom.
down. Rolls underneath. Look. Watch. 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 And here he comes. Boom. Watch this. Watch this. And the
The
head
head
go like
clash.
this. Look. Watch this. Watch
The
this.
head
Watch this.
clash.
His head is down. Navarrete's face is down. Look. Now watch. Now watch. Just watch. Slip. Boom. His head is on the side. Now watch where
Mm.
his head comes up. Watch, 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 watch. It misses. Look at his face up there, his head.
Yep,
Look,
it rubbed. Yep.
it rubbed. His head never actually clashed with Navarrete's. And look at Navarrete's face. It's busted open.
That was a clear punch.
That
Punch.
was a clean shot.
That
Clean
was a
shot.
clean punch.
Clean.
That
Look
wasn't no
at
clean
watch.
punch.
Watch it
Stop the
again.
cat.
He blocks the
Stop the
glove.
cat.
Digs
Stop
under.
it.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Look, 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 look. Give me your face.
Boom.
Boom. Right on the spot. Where he hit. Now look at his head, the angle. They even
Oh,
show
well,
you the
that was a
second
clean
angle.
shot.
6'10" Nas. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I would have to double check, but I don't
Look,
think
look,
so.
look. Under. His head is on the
It's a clean
outside.
shot.
Look, 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 look. Look at his face. Up high. Head never clashed. How does his head clash?
That
Look.
was a head clash.
Hmm.
That was a head
God,
clash.
No, it
God,
was a clean shot.
crazy.
That
You're
was a
just
head
a
clash, bro.
hater, bro.
Everyone's seen that a head clash. You know,
Brother,
and
everybody
that's
said
why
it was a
it went
clean
to a no
shot.
contest.
I don't know what I don't know what you're talking about. What I'm seeing right
I
here.
mean,
Rachel,
that
yes,
guy,
Rachel,
man.
yes, it is Suarez. So that was the Suarez Navarrete because we got this Hugo kid in here
Look at this. Look at this.
stating that it was a headbutt and Navarrete got cheated out of that.
No,
Navarrete
no, that's
put
not
a
true.
good
That's not
shot.
true.
Boom. Look
Look,
at
That's
look,
that.
not
look,
true.
clean, boom.
That's not
Clean.
true. Stop. The California
Clean. Look, look,
the
look, look, look.
California
Navarrete
State
got it on his
Athletic
eye lobe.
Commission General Inspector said that it was a head clash.
Now the general inspector tried to protect
Um,
Navarrete.
hey, Bulbo's got a message for you, Hugo. He says Hugo needs to apologize. Don't make the raza look bad, carnal.
Oh my God.
You know what?
Yo,
You know
Hugo,
what?
you're down bad
No,
on
no,
round
no,
one.
stop. Let me respond to him. Let me respond to him. Get your ass a pair of headphones and come on the panel and tell me what I need to apologize for, carnal.
He needs some
Stop
milk.
chatting.
Yo,
Stop
yo,
chatting.
Yeah,
Patty.
blah, blah.
Chatty Patty.
yo,
Hey,
listen,
Hugo,
Hugo.
read the chat. Read that last one that came in from Rachel Donaire. I want you to read
He
that
needs
yourself.
some milk.
Bro, we know that was that was
Rachel,
clearly
how
a
you
Nope.
doing?
headbutt.
Yo,
That
I,
was
I,
clearly a
Clean shot,
headbutt.
bro.
I
The
want you to read what
California,
Rachel Donaire wrote. What did she write there? I want you to read it.
Come
there
on,
was
read
no
the chat.
headbutt.
Okay, exactly. There was no headbutt.
Well, you know what? The California State Athletic Commission General
I
Inspector
don't
said it
care
was a
about the
headbutt.
California State Athletic Commission. That was a clean shot.
It wasn't no clean shot, my brother. And stop the lying
Brother, they
because in
landed
the
on his
record it says it was a
eye.
headbutt.
The head
Brother,
clash
I
that
know.
came after wasn't even a head clash. They rubbed faces.
They
That's all
rub
they
faces.
did.
Yeah.
Mm.
What they couldn't do was say that his face caused Navarrete's cut when
Hey,
the
can
punch was right exact the
Okay.
same
Stop,
position
stop,
where
stop,
he
stop,
got
stop.
cut at.
I have a
all right now,
solution.
Edwin, while Hugo talks his shit, pull up the Wilson Navarrete knockdown.
The Wilson
Exactly. Let's
knockdown.
expose those guys.
Man, you guys are haters. We all know that. But
Brother,
you know
No,
we
we're
what?
always
gonna
hate
we're
How
gonna
was
those
give
we
you
No,
guys.
no, no, no,
How
no,
facts.
are we
bro.
haters,
Because
Hugo?
no, bro, stop. You know you're hating on
Brother, it's
El
always we
Vaquero
are haters.
Navarrete.
We
You
are
know you're
haters.
hating on El
We are
Vaquero
haters.
Navarrete.
Yo,
When Desperate hates on
oh,
Inoue,
oh,
we don't say why he's a hater. Desperate keep on hating, but when we tell the truth about Navarrete, he gets emotional.
Yeah, he gets emotional. He gets
Yeah,
emotional.
because I see the hate you guys are trying to put right here on my
No,
Mexican flag
yo,
it's a
we
How
just
is
and on
said
my
that
who
Mexican
is
I
putting
brethren.
hate
I
on
see
you?
that.
I just said that
How can one
I'm a
fighter?
Navarrete fan. How am I
Well,
a
then
How
stop
hater?
can
saying no
one we
dumb
us
shit like
talking
that,
about
bro.
one fighter put hate on the Mexican
It's
flag?
not dumb shit.
It's
It's
about one
facts.
fighter.
You
That's
guys
not
talk
about
shit
the
off the.
Mexican flag. Bro, you're crazy. Don't even try that. Oh, we got special guest Rachel Donaire. Some of
Yo,
y'all
y'all
might
have some
be
respect up here.
quiet.
For sure.
Right, so we're arguing the Suarez. Why are we arguing Suarez Navarrete? Just because it's fun to argue?
Yes, because
No,
Well,
no.
Hugo apparently we can't talk about Mexicans at all on the show. Now we're disrespecting Mexico as a whole. You know what I mean? And what we were saying
No,
was,
stop the cap. Hi,
come on,
Rachel.
man.
Hi, Rachel. How you
Navarrete's
doing
been in a
today?
couple tough fights, and Hugo says, I can see the Mexican hate on the channel. And we're like, what? And then Hugo's like, you guys do anything to try to put us down and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. So,
No,
and then
hi
That's
you,
Rachel.
you
The
bad.
thing was, hi Rachel. The thing was that we were discussing about the Sugar Nunez and the Vaquero Navarrete unification fight at 1:30, and you know these guys just started to say that the Charlie Suarez was a punch instead of a head. But from my understanding and from all the articles that are online today, the California State Athletic Commission ruled it a headbutt,
yeah,
and that's why the fight was a no contest.
yeah, we know what the official ruling was. We all know that, but we can also,
We saw
with
with our
our
own
own
eyes
eyes,
what happened.
yes, it's called what we saw. So you can't stop us for that. But
We
anyway,
saw Navarrete
this
get clipped on his eye.
I besides Navarrete, I got Rachel Donaire here live right now, and I
Mm.
have a lot of questions I would like to ask her, and I'm gonna kindly just mute a couple mics here just in case, because first of all, welcome to the show, Rachel Donaire. How you doing today?
Good, just having coffee.
Having coffee. This, if you guys are not familiar or don't know, this is the wife of Nonito Donaire, former world champion, 3 division world champion, Hall of Famer fighter. Just came into a very tough fight, and I would like to ask your point of view and your experience overall. How was everything down there? Did they treat you good? Break everything down as much as you can.
I mean, everything was good over there. the only thing, of course, that I was like interested about is like why we had to do a media workout and he got to do his like 2 weeks ago. Cause I'm always about like, nope, we're doing the same thing, right?
Right.
Knew that that was going to be something because we didn't come in until the week of, but most of the time you're supposed to do all the, what is it called, the media workouts, you know, kind of either the same day or a day after each other, both on fight week. But I mean everything was pretty simple. We, you know, the weight cut was stupid easy.
Mhm.
Didn't have to deal with, I think like the morning of, Nonito was 2 pounds over. um
Wow, he was really in shape, huh?
yeah, he had, I think he took a bath for like 17 minutes, and I don't know how he does this. He's always done this though since 112 and 115. Uh,
Mhm.
hold on, sorry. Uh, yeah, so he was 112 or 115. Like he still would do this type of stuff where he would like shadow box for like minutes, and then he'd be like, "I'm done. I'm on weight," and no one knows how in the world he knows that specific. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't know how to explain it. Like, without stepping
Oh,
on the
being
scale, you know, you're
tuned
on weight?
tuned in with your body. Talk about being tuned in with your body, right? I mean, the man knows his peak physical shape, and that's just amazing that he's that tuned in with his own body. Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. When I used to cut, it was I had to step on the scale a couple
Right.
times, like, you
Right.
know, but
Of
I don't
course.
know.
That
So the fight itself in general, um, what were your feelings on the fight? Talk me through how the fight started, where the fight was going, if you could, walk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I think when the fight was going, it he was controlling the fight in the beginning extremely well with his jab and things like that.
Nice.
I thought that he could have gotten him right in the
Mhm.
when in the fifth, was
5th.
it? Yeah,
It was
in
the
the
5th.
fifth. Yeah. That one, like I was trying to control Nonito though, because like the problem is he starts getting, you ever watch Finding Nemo where the shark is like, fish are friends, not food. And he
Right.
gets hit, right? He smells the blood
Right, right.
and his
Right.
eyes go black. So that's what happens with Nonito a lot of times,
Yes.
right? And then now I can't pull him back. Like there's no like I'm like,
Right.
hey, hey, hello, hello. I'm like, stop walking forward. Like now you're just, trying to
Right.
headhunt.
Right.
Um, so did we rewatched it? And I have um the jabber results on it, but the jabber like was only from one camera angle.
Yep.
From it was from the TV. And then I also have the CompuBox numbers.
Mhm.
Um, and we broke it down together. We talked about it, we looked at the numbers, we looked at it visually. And of course, like for what I say, in my perspective, is yeah, I think that you were leading at a razor thin margin, which is exactly what the numbers said as well. It literally was a 131 to a 126 in
Mm.
total connect. It was not one-sided at all. But I told him I could see how when he was on the ropes in the last minute,
Mhm.
how you could be swayed going one way, right? Because like that's your lasting impression. So,
Mhm.
something that we talked about, that just, perspective wise, when you're judging a 10-9 round,
Mhm.
that has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah. Yeah. And the championship rounds is that's, Nonito Donaire is no stranger to this. He's been in many championship fights, and he knows what he had to do. And I gotta commend him because he's 43 years old and he's in there and he's fighting these current world champions. I believe that Nonito Donaire still, with the performance he gave, will still beat 70% of all these guys in the division. It's quite remarkable to see a man like your husband fight the way he still is fighting and competing. It's hard to say when to hang it up, but if you feel like you're still competing on the level of your peers, then he'll know when the time is right. But
Yeah.
as far as his performance, listen, not just because you're his wife or I just want to be humble, man. And I'm always going to show you respect, but I really mean this. He is amazing. He is
I
amazing.
appreciate it. Yeah, and like for what you're saying, like that's exactly how right, like because I know there was some stuff during the Santiago camp that had issues with,
Mhm.
and people ask me, they're like, he was like, if I can't do this anymore, then pull me out. And I'm like, listen, if you still want to play, I was like, I need to see it in the gym. I need to see it through your training.
Right.
And for the best of him, like he looked freaking amazing on the scales.
Yep.
For like I always say, I'm like, that's funny because you have these youngins that don't make weight and look
Right.
really soft, right?
Right.
Um, and then so like I said, when it came down to the numbers, like I'm reading the CompuBox right now, saw the fighter separated by 3 or fewer total punches in 8 to 12.
Wow.
And Nonito was Nonito was the effective aggressor and harder shot for shot hitter and was more active, 59.7 punches per round to Satsumi's 54.3, and prevailed in a 79 to 64 in landed power shots and 29% in power accuracy. So for me, looking at it, right, like if you're seeing a fighter that's like declining
Right.
and they're getting hit a lot, they're not throwing, it's not a competitive back and forth,
Right.
then that's where like people are like, oh, he shouldn't be fighting. It's like, well, he shouldn't at 43 be making weight, he shouldn't have had more punches.
Right.
Um this shouldn't have been a thing. If everyone was
Right.
saying like, well, he should retire, then why didn't he get knocked out in the third or fourth? Why did he,
Right.
you know, fight someone who is the number
And
one
right.
in ring?
Right. And the thing is this too, right? And I said this when he came into that fight with Naoya Inoue, the monster out there. Uh he was 36 years old, and I was saying it. I was saying to myself, yo, that performance Nonito Donaire put on against that Japanese dude, Nonito looked sharp, good. As a matter of fact, I'm on the edge of saying that that's probably one of the best times I ever seen him looking that good. And then lo and behold, he proves me right. He loses the fight. What did he do? He goes on and fights that French guy, young, undefeated. He fights two undefeated fighters back to back. He wins the belt and defends the belt, which shows you that he was still on that level. And like people try to write off fighters sometimes, and I I wasn't sure what I was prepared to watch the night your husband just fought. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure, but after what I saw, I tipped my hat off to him. I saw where, it left me appreciating the fight game. What he was doing, for my age, I saw your husband. I said, no, that's beyond. That's better. He's doing better than like he's like in a 1% at that age. And I was saying because he was moving so good, he didn't look like he was like a lot, had fallen off. Yes, he's not the same Flash. Yes, I know that. But his intelligence, he's the kind of fighter that if he lost a step, he gained an experience. So he's cutting his fighting, and I understood what I was watching. So I really gotta and I know it sounds like I'm laying it on thick, but man, look, I'm telling you, I appreciated what he did, and that's no easy task to go in under fighting for interim belts, world champions, undefeated fighters, young knockout artists. That shit was not easy. So, yeah. What's the future hold for Donaire, and where does he go from here?
Well, the WBA rankings just came out. Like after the fight, right? They asked me about the scores, which I thought the 117, 111 was a complete bullshit score.
Okay. That's what you
And
were pissed about when you text me? That's what you were pissed about?
yeah, I was pissed about that score. But it's funny because that was the same judge that did it during the Santiago fight.
Okay.
It was 2 fights before that. He was the same
Right.
judge in the same chair. They're not supposed to sit in the same chair because they're always going to have the same perspective. You're supposed to rotate them, but for some weird reason, he was the third judge on both of the fights he gave 117, 111 to.
Okay.
So, and again, like you're going up against the Ring Magazine's #1, right?
Right.
So for me, and I've seen people already get pissed at me right now because they're
Mhm.
like, how the hell is Rachel getting Nonito a #1 shot? Like they ranked him WBA #1. And that kind of makes me feel like this is casual talk again. Like if you don't understand,
Right.
like
Rachel, Rachel,
yeah,
Rachel, look, check it out, right? What the casual fan has to understand when they see moves like this throughout the organization is that what have you done for the organization? What kind of business have you brought them? What kind of champion were you were? So in some situations, there are fighters that are getting title shots that never did anything for the organization. Now that's pretty funny. But in your husband's case, it's a situation where, yes, your husband has been an established champion. He has done business with the organization. He has a name. He doesn't have to go through the ranking because he's not a rookie. We don't.
yeah.
He doesn't need an audition. He's
Well, I
already
think that's the
passed it.
question though. Like for example, right? Like let's look at a couple of them. Let's look at the
Yeah.
WBC, the WBO, and let's look at who. And let's look at WBA. So if you look at, so I went to the WBC convention,
Mhm.
and of course they're like, well, Nonito's not fighting for, the WBC belt. And I can't petition for Nonito to get ranked because Nonito's an interim champion at that time when I went to the BC convention. Mind you, I just watched Takuma win against Nasakawa
Yes.
Tenshin. And at the same time, it like you're looking at where again, Nasakawa just lost and he got ranked #1, right? Or no, #2. He's supposed to fight against Estrada. Now it's funny because I'm watching this in the chat. There's someone that said Nonito should be #2, Ioka should be #1. Here's your problem, and this is where you guys get confused and what the lack of knowledge and rankings is. Who the hell did Ioka fight?
Right.
Right? It's not about if you guys want us to fight guys who are like 2-0 and just get numbers up, then okay. But that's the issue is that even Estrada, for all the respect he's done in 115, that was in 115. He fought someone out of the rankings of 15, the top 15, and he got a #1. So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So should you fight people who are ranked number 50 to get that #1 spot? Because the guy that Ioka fought wasn't anything.
So
So
wait a minute. Let me get this right. Oh, let me get this right. Hold up. What I don't know if Box Live is doing. They got Nonito Donair as the WBA interim champion.
no, Box Live it's off. I don't think they came back for
Yeah.
Christmas yet.
Yeah, they're off. They're way
Yeah, yeah.
off. Yeah, let me get off of this. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, even I think I don't know if Boxing Scene had updated their rankings. Hold on.
I'm gonna check the
Um,
boxing scene right now. I was on them and because I check them all. I'm all over the place. I'm going to boxing scene right now, and I just wanted to see that ranking because I
no,
also
they
want.
updated it.
Oh, they did. Good.
Mhm.
Hi, honey.
Oh, so Mark saying who did Nonito beat to get the interim? He beat Andres Campo, who was what number was he? Like, I think he was like 6 or I know the first guy we were supposed to fight was number 11. And then I think Andres Campo came in at number 6, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what the ranking was for that guy.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's the thing is when you argue, and I told you this before you asked me, when it looks like when you look at the rankings, you need to find out who's underneath you, right? Or who's above you and how do you argue it. My argument for Estrada is Nonito's fought in 118 for the last I don't know how many years already, and the amount of quality opponents he's beat in this division. That's the thing, is when you go for the rankings to beat someone in this division, then it's different. And
Right.
Yoka was just right.
Right.
Um, 2 seconds. I gotta put you on mute. My son keeps calling.
Yeah, it's okay. And for the record, right? Estrada was 17 and 6. Estrada was ranked. He's ranked as his native country. He's like number one, and he was ranked at the time coming in with Onito Donaire. He was ranked up in like the 80s or whatever, right? But at least he fought somebody there, you know. The a situation like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has never been a world champion. He's never fought for a WBC world title. He had like a silver, but when he fought Devin Haney, the belt wasn't on the line because he missed weight. So you can't count that as a shot at a title. Coming off of a loss with Rowley, they gave him a number one shot at Mario Barrio. And what has Ryan done for the WBC or for the belt as a title run, like a respectable champion? He hasn't put in much work. But Nonito Donaire, he made his way. He's kind of like Manny Pacquiao. You know how Manny Pacquiao came in, cut the line, went to Mario Barrio? Why did most fight fans agree with that? Because Manny Pacquiao is an established fighter. Okay. He has put in his work. We don't need to be familiar with Manny Pacquiao. You don't got to control him, just unleash him. Same thing with Donaire. Donaire is not the type of fighter that he had to be proven. Like, here's a 3 division world champion. You're talking about who are you? You're an established, of course, come right in, sir. Right? And then when you have these kind of fighters like these, and you put together these fights, Mario Barrio didn't beat Manny Pacquiao like convincingly. Where did Manny Pacquiao end up in the ranking? Isn't he the number one? Right? And it's the same scenario. What are you going to argue, Manny Pacquiao? Because some of these situations, they're just in different situations in their career. Not all situations of these guys getting mystery title shots are the same. They're not the same, but in some senses, as a boxing community, the world, we can accept some of them. I can accept the way George Foreman came back rather than a lot of other fighters that have former champions that came back. When George Foreman came back, he came up the ranking. He did it the old fashioned way, you know? So, and then he lost to Evander, then they asked for a handout against, the Michael. So, yeah, but not all situations are the same. And I believe that, yes, there are boxers that have done enough, like Manny Pacquiao, that can come and skip the line and get up there and they can exist up there. Yes, they can. And they deserve it because Manny Pacquiao needs no audition. He doesn't need to be proven. All he needs to say is that he's willing to take the fight, and so forth, like that. So, yeah, as far as that, no, but what Donaire did on that night, he showed me that he's not. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done. I think he could still compete. And if he's still competing, because I was watching that fight with close eyes, but a weary mindset. I didn't want to see Manny Pacquiao go in there and get beat up. I sure didn't want to see Nonito Donaire do that neither. But Donaire was nobody's victim. He was actually in there like a warrior fighting, and I'm here on the edge of my seat saying by the middle rounds, shit, if he keeps this up, right? And then, the fight is the fight, and it went the way it did. But no. There's some
Hey,
athletes that you could see play the sport and say, no, he's not done. I didn't feel Tom Brady was done. Frontline, what you got to say? What's up?
no, I was gonna say, somebody in the chat wanted to get whenever she comes back for you to ask her
She's
what's
back.
her
I'm here.
thoughts. Oh, okay. No, somebody in the chat wants to know what's your thoughts on the whole controversy with Inoue's raps during the Picasso fight.
She
So
experienced it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't experience it myself. One of my corners did, when he rapped in Japan. And she was told by Commission Japan they're allowed to wrap it that way. I don't know how he wrapped it in Saudi, so I don't know if he wrapped it the same or if there was another issue. But what I will say is that it's experience level and knowing that not all commissions are the same, right?
Right.
And I believe Saudi uses BBBOC. I believe.
Well, the guy from Las Vegas, the commission guy from Las Vegas that oversees
Uh-huh.
the, he was in the room.
The
He was
commissioner from Vegas was there?
the boxing commission, the guy that oversees, like when you wrap your hands in the boxer locker room, you see that guy in the background, and
Yeah,
then
but wait. Was that a okay, so here's my question. Was he a Las Vegas a Nevada State Athletic Commission,
yeah,
or was he whatchamacallit? Was he a sanctioned like overseer from one of the
no,
sanctioning
he
bodies?
wasn't an overseer. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, he's out of Nevada, and he
He's
was in the locker room in
so
Riyadh.
hold on here. This is really simple. Let's just look at BoxRec and see who the oversight commission was. Hold
All
on,
right,
because
all right,
then we know we're talking apples to apples.
right.
Yeah. Anyway, monster.
No, the thing about the commission in Saudi Arabia is, yes, since the beginning they were using the British Boxing Board of Control, but if I'm not mistaken, towards the middle of this year, they got their own commission, which is the Saudi Arabia Boxing Commission, but they're still establishing themselves with experienced inspectors. So for right now, they're flying out all of the Nevada State Athletic Commission guys to train their guys. So that's why you see all the Nevada State Athletic Commission guys training their guys. But I think in this new year they will have their own personnel. They will no longer be getting sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. They'll have their own at Saudi Arabia at Boxing Athletic Commission.
Actually, this fight they didn't use BBBOC. They used UAE.
Yes.
Boxing
Their own.
committee, UAE,
Ex-
UAE
exactly,
is who they use. Yes,
exactly. They're getting more independent. They don't want to be so like tied up with the BBBFC.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
they probably are trying to, it would make sense for me that, what they're doing over there, that they
have
establish their own
yes,
boxing commission and then apply
exactly,
for it to be recognized worldwide.
exactly. Yes,
right.
yes, yes,
Um,
yes,
but
exactly.
yeah, I mean, as far as like I wouldn't use the word like cheating, right? I think that number one, like I said, I also don't know UAE Boxing Commission's rules. Um, to be able to say it's cheating or not. I think it's a preference when it comes to commission. So Vegas and Texas and Japan allow for the type of hand wrap that Inoue uses. It is the responsibility of the management and the head of team to understand the rules of the commission you're fighting under. And that's why you have a rules meeting after the weigh-in. After the glove selection, you have a rules meeting. So you can ask the questions of the overseer, um if it's allowed, if it's not allowed, or whatever. And it
It,
would behoove you to, if you're fighting under a different commission, to go pull their damn rule book and read it before you get there.
so Rachel, let me ask you a question. If you and your husband were in a fight, and right after the weigh-in, after the gloves, you go into the rule meeting with where the referees, the officials, they all go over the rules. You got your team in there and you got their team in there. When that meeting is concluded, once everybody agreed and we walked out, and tomorrow we're in the locker rooms and they try to say something to your husband about his hands wrap, and you say in the rule meeting, they say we can wrap it like this. Legally, he is in his right to continue to wrap it the way it was agreed upon the day before in the rule meeting. Am I correct?
Yeah, if it was already cleared and but you really, like, here's one of the biggest things I learned from being in Japan, and I've known it before, even when we went to when we went to Argentina, and the other guy didn't bring gloves for the fight, which was weird, right? You have to like really like be very, very, very extremely clear when you are talking in a different language and there's an interpreter. Like you don't just ask questions, you get out the gauze, you get out the tape, and you explain it visually.
Mhm.
And you go back and forth and ask questions. So because I've been like there's something I said after the fight that someone told me. They're like, "Hey, you said this, but the interpreter said this." And I'm like, "That's not what I said. That's a whole different
Mm.
meaning."
Right.
So when it comes to the rules meeting if you're very specific about the raps, and I know that fuck me, I forget who it was in the rules meeting this time, but there was one of the American guys was saying something about rapping and how he raps, and the Japanese guy from Inoue's camp, not I mean it was their gym, Ohashi's gym, was complaining that they can't do that. We get dragged in. I'm like, what? I'm like, they're like, Rachel, didn't you guys something about Basil, the way Basil raps. And I was like, Basil, who's my cutman? I was like, Basil, you've never rapped no needle like that. And he was like, no. And he was like, so this, and that. And the American was yelling and screaming. And it was just funny to me because I'm like, you guys could just talk this out and explain, are we agreeing to agree to rap this way or not? It didn't have anything to do with me. They were just trying to get me in the firefight. I'm like, no, nope, we're not. Leave me out. This has nothing to do with my raps, so I don't care. You
Coach
guys
Beard,
Rachel,
figure it
can
out.
I ask you? Rachel, can I ask you a question though? Because here's the part where I'm a little confused. Because you
Huh?
guys are talking about two teams that are talking to each other and saying, "Okay, I agree that you could rap like this," and then the other team says, "Yes, I agree that you could rap like this." But doesn't the state athletic commission overrule everything? Because that's what happened in the Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue's team was saying, "Well, Picasso, you guys said we could rap like this." But Picasso's team doesn't have the right to say how to wrap the hands. Is the UAE Boxing Athletic Commission that trumps all that? So when round one is saying that, well, Picasso's team said it was okay to rap like that. Well, Picasso's team doesn't have the jurisdiction to sanction the fight there. The fight is getting sanctioned by the UAE. So when Naoya Inouye's team comes over here saying that, well, you guys said it was okay. Well, bro, you can't be taking the other team's word. You have to talk to the inspector or who or
Yes.
the you're right. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
round one is saying. That's what Edwin is saying. Edwin is saying that Picasso's team, quote unquote, is
no,
trying to
no,
get.
no, no,
Hold on,
no,
my
he
brother.
won't.
Let me finish. Let me
Yep.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish, brother. Round one is saying that Naoya Inuge's team is saying that Picasso's team is quote unquote trying to get in his head because the day before they agreed that they could wrap their hands a certain way. But my thing is, you don't agree to anything unless it's in the rules book by the athletic commission of whoever is sanctioning the fight, wherever whatever territory it is.
Okay, okay, Hugo. Okay, Hugo. Now, what I got to say is this, right? First of all, you're 100% wrong with what I said, right? And you're trying to twist my words. But nice try, but no cigar. Here's what I said, right? You're right about what you're saying about they have to comply by their rules. So it was obvious that when they were in the meeting that where they were fighting at, those rules were explained. Okay. Now, if they said that he could put tape on skin, that's like Rachel said. If you don't understand something, you need to get out there and do that. But at the end of the day, what ended up happening is what's important. What's important here is they said, okay, you can't wrap your hand this way. So they made him wrap them the way they wanted. And even though he wrapped his hands that way, he went out there and your Mexican fighter didn't win one round against them. Okay. So the way he wrapped his hands. So now I just want to be this abundantly clear for the first time viewers. If you're thinking about loaded hand wraps, I had Coach Bermudez come on to my show and he explained. He explained about many different ways that even himself uses tricks to get into the fighter's mind. No matter which way the wraps were going to be, he was going to look for something to argue about. Why? He wants to disrupt the flow in the chi of the fighter. He wants to get in their head, get in a little argument, and those are just sometimes mental games. Sometimes it's the real deal where someone was confused. Whatever the case may be, I'm not arguing the case. What I'm saying, I'm arguing the results. No matter what you say about his hand wraps, at the end of the day, it was corrected. Was it not? Did he whoop his ass like that? Yes, it
Of
was.
course, Ron.
Now,
Okay. Let me go real quick. Okay, you're correct about that. You're correct about the part that it was corrected. What I don't agree with you is you're saying that Picasso's team didn't have any authority to go and intervene with the hand wraps when they were wrong. It's not like
no,
if Picasso.
no.
Hold on,
Where do you get
brother,
this
brother,
word? Where do you get?
brother,
Where
brother.
did
Let
you
me
get
finish,
that? Where
brother.
did you get
Let me
that I
finish.
said they didn't have the
Let me finish,
authority?
though.
Where did you get
Let me
that?
finish. I'm getting there, brother. I'm gonna explain to you. It won't take too
Right?
long. Look, watch. So you're saying that Picasso's team, quote unquote, was just trying to get it, and Naoya Nuga's
It
team
could
head or
be.
whatever up their flow. Hold on, brother. Hold on, my brother. But then again, at the end of the day, the hand wraps were wrong. So it's not like if they went in there and just tried to disturb their peace of mind and their hand wraps for no reason, and they stood the same and they were right the whole time. They weren't right the whole time. Round one, they
Well,
were
Hugo,
wrong. Did
false.
they get
wait,
clipped?
wait, wait,
False.
wait,
Did they
wait,
get
wait,
That's
wait,
clipped?
wait,
false.
Hugo, wait, Hugo,
Wait,
wait, Hugo. Can it be no, that's one way to view it, but here's another way to view it. Couldn't it
Well,
be
brother,
that
you
they
didn't let me
side?
finish though. You didn't
Hold
let me
on,
finish.
hold
But go
on,
ahead.
hold on,
Go ahead,
hold
brother.
on, hold
All
on.
right, go
See,
ahead.
Hugo, the way you're thinking is one way. They name streets after you, right? Because you're assuming that this is what they thought. How did you ever cross your mind that Alan David Picasso's team agreed to something and then wanted to back out on it? Did you
David
ever
Allen's
think,
Picasso's team can't agree to nothing. It's in the rules book, round one.
okay, okay,
They can't agree to
slow
nothing.
down, take a
but
deep
okay,
breath,
wait. Here, hold
slow
on,
down.
hold on. I think
They
there's a
have
couple
to agree.
different
Yep,
there's a couple different things that we're, which is why I'm very extremely careful about what I say, right? Because there are situations that yes, you want to get in someone's heads. There's also situations that in that rule meeting, you're supposed to agree, do I want to watch each other's hands, right?
word, agree.
Well, you could be like, okay, for Nonito, it was like, do we want to watch Daigo's raps? Yeah. Okay. Do
Right.
you want to watch our raps? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Right.
What time, this is key. What time are you rapping? I've been
Right.
in situations, and it wasn't this one, but I've been in situations where the other guy said they were going to rap way earlier, and we're like, okay. And all of a sudden, our time to rap, let's just say 7:30 comes, and now they're rapping. And they know my best person to send over there is Mike Basil. So now Basil can't go over there and watch their raps because he's rapping Nonito. So it
Tragedy.
because when
But
it comes
oh, go
to
ahead.
like I call like when I'll send one of my other people over there, but as soon as they find out that they're rapping, I'm like, go over there because now it's the very first layer. If you have an issue with rapping, my people are very vocal and will say stop. Like, nope, stop. I don't agree with that. Like, do take that layer off from the
Right.
very get. So
Mm,
what I'm saying, like, could have been anything. And I do feel strongly about the verbiage or the language barrier that is going on between the English side, which was the commission,
Very
the
good
Spanish
point.
side, Picasso's,
Yes.
and Japan
and the
side. And I can
Japanese,
tell you
yes,
how many
Yep.
times I've
yes.
been in Japan talking to the front desk, and I'm like, this, and that. And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like it's totally freaking opposite of what I said. I'm like, dude, why did you say yes if you didn't
Right.
hear what I said?
Right. Or
Rachel,
you
I have
didn't
a
So
question for
understand
you
what
though.
I
Let
said.
me ask
Yeah.
a question real quick, round one.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, brother. Just one question. Rachel, but just so I could get clarification, so isn't it a mandatory thing to have another person from the opposite team be there having your hands wrapped?
It's
Isn't it
not
like
mandatory.
mandatory?
It's not
Can you?
mandatory. Like she
Oh, it's
said,
not
it's an
mandatory.
option. It's
no,
option.
Really?
it's optional. Yeah. Who was
I
it?
mean,
There was,
but
I don't remember who it was. I
mm,
think
that's crazy.
it might have been what I can't remember who it was that we were fighting. But I know Stitch was in the other corner. And Basil and Stitch know each other
Mm,
extremely well. And Basil's like, hey, Stitch is in the other corner. I'm good with not watching Stitch rap. And Stitch gave us the same grace because he's
Respect.
like, yeah,
Right.
no. He's like, I work alongside Baz. We're good. We good, brother. We're not doing
Right.
nothing sneaky. And they
Right.
have a trust together being both cutmen and rapmen. So I trusted Basil that, okay, we don't need to oversee. But some of these other guys you don't know, right? And especially in a different country, you don't know how they're doing things. So you do send someone over to check.
Mhm.
But it's not, you don't have to do it.
Right. Right. And then
Hey Rachel,
before
quick
and
question.
go ahead, front. Go ahead.
When Nonito was fighting, or I mean, he still is, but when it comes time to, for an example, your cut man, is that something that you provide Nonito with his own cut man, or is it something that's provided by the promotional company or the sanctioning bodies, or you guys have options to do basically whatever you guys want?
So Top Rank started something really interesting, where, and I think it started really during COVID because there was only so many people that could be in the bubble. And instead of every team having a fourth person or a third person, um, Top Rank was hiring Stitch and Basil to to do opposite corners, right? For cutmen. We've always had Basil. I mean, can't say always. When I came into the camp, I grabbed Basil, and we've had him since 2008, I believe. Um,
You're familiar with him. You're comfortable. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I necessarily wouldn't want to have someone that they just quote unquote hired, that I don't know personally because I need to see how you work, right? There's this guy Jesse that Trevor McCumbee had against Diego Pacheco, amazing in cuts. And that was the first time I ever worked with him. I wasn't head trainer anyway. But I was like, oh, okay, this guy's good. Like in case, because Basil all of a sudden from just having us, he all of a sudden is one of the like he's with Amanda. He's with Katie. He's with the Haneys. He like people ask for him. Xander Zayas asking for him. So he's popular. So I always look at how other people do their cuts. Because I need to be able to trust that that person's experience level is good. But I Nonito is very he's a creature of habit. And he wants to be comfortable with the people that is around him. Like if you notice during the fights, Basil's in the middle. And
Hmm.
I don't get in the ring because I need Basil to do his best. If I'm in the corner, if I'm in the middle and Basil needs to work on a cut or work on a swelling, he has to pretty much lean his whole body in, but not step in the ring just to work on Nonito, right?
Right.
Where Nonito doesn't need to see me. I just need to be in his left ear. That's it.
That way he can
So
hear you. He needs to hear you. Yeah. Okay. Right.
yeah, and
Let him
he's
work.
left ear
Let him work.
dominant.
Right. Right.
We've done tests on it. So I know his left ear is dominant to me. So I go on the left side.
Yeah.
So so yeah, that's it. Like I other people, especially if you're coming up and you don't want to pay your cutmen, they'll take the one that the promoters give them. Sanctioning bodies don't give cutmen out. And it's just up to the promoter. Like I said, Top Ranks, they've done it for a while now that they bring on their own cutmen and
Right.
they pay them. The fighter doesn't have to pay them. So if you're coming up and you're okay with having someone else, like why wouldn't um Top Rank pay for a cutman?
Right. Right. And like I was telling like frontline like when we were coming up and stuff like if you didn't have a cut man in your corner, if you didn't have like a big team like that, they had like guys like Stitch and all them around them, and they wouldn't charge us unless they had to break the seal on the box. If they got a cut, if they had to crack the seal, that was $200 to break the box open. And and that was at like events like that. But and then as you get into boxing and you start going around the world and starting to meet everybody, like Rachel was saying, it's key that if Rachel saw you in multiple boxing matches and working corners, and if she had to, then but the new guy, no one ever won, because a cut man is very important in boxing to properly know how to apply in swell, deal with a cut. get the wound to close, and then the boxer's got to work with you too. He's got to protect the eye. They got to know stuff. You just don't can't get in there and start slapping some Vaseline around and think you know what you're doing. No, you know, and
Is the
sometimes
cutman usually the one that wraps the hands too, or
no,
is it
well,
or
no,
No.
no, 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 no,
no?
because
Oh,
people fighters wrap their hands all kinds of superstitious way. Errol
Mhm.
Spence Jr. To this day wraps his own hands. You know, there's other fighters that only have one certain guy wrap their hands. They won't let nobody touch their hands. There's guys that don't care. Anyone can wrap my hand. There's, it's just different for everyone. To tell you the truth, there's no real. I can't say this is a system because there are thousands of ways I believe to wrap your hands. I've seen so many, man. Some don't make sense. Some I saw some guys getting hand wrapped, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean?
mm.
Like you learn something, and I'm like
No.
looking at it.
Yeah, and
So
it's even like how tight they want it, or
yeah,
and it
not
and it takes a while to get it right with a fighter. Like Basil, it's been since 2008. He knows Nonito inside and out at this point.
right.
Um, so there's no issue. I know before, his dad used to wrap his hands, right? But when we were with Robert, Robert Garcia never touched Nonito's wraps, right?
Right.
So it just depends. Like if we have Baz, like I know that's taken care of. If we don't have Baz, does Nonito literally wraps his hands every time he trains. So he doesn't use the cloth hand wraps. He has
Mhm,
gauze and tape, loads and boxes of it because he goes through it every day. And
mhm.
he wraps his own hands. It takes about 20 minutes. It kills me because I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the longest freaking
Yeah,
for him to gauze and tape every time as if he's fighting. Like
right.
literally he practices as like he's going in the ring, right? Like for a fight.
Mic
Um,
check, mic check.
is mine off?
No, 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 no. My man just came up and talk. Say something. And I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, you're there. Your mic's on. Okay, go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really just dependent on the fighter because like Jesse Vargas wraps his hands different, Rolly Romero wraps his hands
Right,
different. So
right.
and you don't want to have someone come in the day of the fight that you've never met to literally mold your weapons. Cause
Right.
that could be because rapping is a meditation. Rapping's like, all right, here I'm getting my war gear on, right? if
Exactly.
if you have to keep telling the rap person, nope, cut that off, nope, it's too tight, start over, like that frustrates the fighter because the flow's
Yeah.
gone.
Right. 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 Exactly. And another thing is, right, worst case scenario, right? The fighter goes out there and injures his hand on the day that the new guy wrapped his hands. Guess whose fault it is? The new guy wrapped my hand this way. He didn't do it right. I don't want him wrapping my hand again. Now I didn't trust it, or you don't trust your punch. It doesn't feel good in the glove. So having a team and being comfortable and taking some of these things off the fighter's mind will allow him to focus more on the fight than the little things around him, such as wrapping his hands and whether or not his hand feels comfortable in the glove. So that is very important. Yes, I can see where, you know, I noticed like a lot of fighters like in the gym, they would wrap them in the gauze one time, and what they would do, they would cut it right down the middle and slide it off and use it for tomorrow so they can save, from doing it again. And you kind of just put that back on and just tape around it, type thing. And yeah, I've seen so many different ways of these things. But to make the one thing that this whole topic was about was Naoya the Monster Inui, and whether or not I want the viewers to understand that when they're talking about this, what they're talking about is tape on skin rather than gauze on skin first, then tape. Okay. Then what they do is they put tape right here on the wrist from here down is what you want so that your hand doesn't snap back like that. So your hand becomes kind of like a solid object and you can throw it with confidence. But what you do not want is for that hard substance to be on your knuckle. You would be better off punching somebody with rings on, because what's going to happen is that's going to slap back against your hand. It's going to break your knuckles. You might hit them hard, but your hand's not going to last very long. So what you want on the end of your knuckles is nice padded. It's going to be real puffy. It's going to be real padded. Okay. But that's where the debate comes out of, they say, stacking. It comes on your wrist. That's where it comes from. Okay. So that way we're all on the same page. It's not that any fighter or Naoya Inoue was putting something on his knuckle to punch harder. His power is his power.
No,
You know,
Nito actually tried it, by the way. He when we were, I think it was in Vegas, and I think it was after, so, and Noia fought he fought Fulton. We were in Vegas and everyone was asking me about it. I'm like, I know Noia did that against us because my people were complaining and they're like,
yep.
no, we're allowed to do it here. And so Nonito's like, what is he, how does it feel? And so we were training and Nonito was like, hey, Baz, rap me the way Noia raps. And the Mick guy said, they're like, he's like, it hits harder. But Nonito didn't like it because Nonito, what he does at the end of his punches is he twists it, right? He has this snap.
You're not going to be able to do that.
You can't. It's
can't.
it's a cast. It's literally a cast. So you can't. There's no twist at the end. There's no snap at the end. It's just it's solid, but you have to punch that way. And Nonito was like, I'm not doing it. He's like, nope,
Yeah.
don't like it.
You have to have that power in order to do it, to throw it like a sledgehammer, but it's give and take. You know, you're not going to be able to snap it like Nonito does or curb your shot. You're not going to be able to like flimsy it like this. It's going to be kind of like throwing a straight log or something. And it's not really beneficial, I guess. And a lot of people do frown on it because, you know, breaking your hand actually is part of the sport. Okay. If you're whooping my ass and the unfortunate thing happens that you punch me in the head and you break your hand and now you only got one hand and I'm starting to come back, that's not cheating. That's the risk you take. By putting that in the back of your hand and you're not breaking your hand and you're throwing your hand like that, I mean, you probably could, I could argue the fact you could be taking something away from the a moment or a situation for me, you know. So I don't know how that feels, but I know that if you fight in Japan, you're both entitled to do it. It's not like, okay, the only person that can do it are the Japanese fighters. You guys cannot do this. No, that's not what's happening. So you know, when they did fight in Riyadh, since the situation was corrected and in a way won, I was like, okay, he won, but let's observe what happened in the fight. And it just seemed like the consensus wanted to bicker about the hand wrap situation rather than acknowledging the young man Alan David Picasso's performance. I think that that young Mexican kid, for the experience that he has, you mean to tell me that dude got in there and like he didn't get knocked out by now? Okay, everybody, oh, moral victory. I don't care, man. I don't care. I'm gonna tell you what, that kid was pretty good with his defense. He fought smart. He didn't take a lot of chances, but I also noticed that he kept Naoya Inoue at bay, and
Hey,
it was very
Edwin,
intelligent.
can we debunk something real quick from a
What's that?
professional here?
What's that?
Rachel, do you consider Picasso a prospect or a contender?
Honestly, I never even looked at Picasso before, and I'll tell you right now, I haven't even watched the fight.
Okay,
I have been
wait. Let
I
me
have
fill her in with everything. Okay. The question is whether you viewed him as a prospect or a contender. Remember, Picasso was the number one mandatory, and he was the one that was ordered by the WBC. So do you
And
see
also
him
remember,
as
Rachel, that David Allen Picasso has never fought an ex-world champion or ever fought for a world title.
Doesn't
okay?
matter who he fought.
Okay, wait. Let her make her decision. Is he a prospect or is he a worthy contender?
if you're in the top 5, you're not a prospect anymore. You fought enough to get there.
Enough
And that's
said. Enough said.
And he
Hugo,
was
I
the
don't want to hear shit
mandatory.
come out your mouth no more.
He was the number one mandatory. Yeah, so don't ever call him a prospect again, Hugo.
Rachel, can I ask
Hugo.
you a question? Rachel, can I ask you a question? Isn't a
Yeah,
contender
what's up?
someone that's been, isn't a contender someone that's fought an ex world champion or that's been in a title eliminator of some kind or that's fought for an interim title? David Allen Picasso has never fought for a world championship. This was his first one, and he's never fought an ex world champion. And if I'm not mistaken, he's never been involved in a 12-round fight.
Wrong. First of all the things you said were wrong. He had that 12 round fights, and he was the number one. Remember, Rachel told you if you're in the top five, you don't have to necessarily fight a former world champion. If there was no former world champion for you to fight, that shouldn't justify you from your number one ranking or being a contender. And just because you can't fight for a belt because he has all four of them.
I think like a prospect is a promising new fighter, right? I look at
Right.
prospects of guys who are like 5-0, 10-0, things like that. But a contender is, in my opinion, is someone who's highly ranked, who has proven themselves winning significant fights that get him to that position. So,
Right.
he's a challenger for a world championship, but that doesn't mean that he he's going to win, A, or B, that he's been there before.
And
So
Rachel, he's 32 fights and 17 knockouts coming into the fight with well, he was 31 fights. Coming into the fight with Naoya the Monster Inoue, right? So how can you call him a prospect when he has over 30 fights and he's
Because
undefeated?
because in Mexico you could start boxing at the age of 16, and most of the fighters there get most of their fights under the age of 21. So it's not like the United States where you have to
Right,
wait till you're
right,
18.
right, right, right. And in
Yung
that case,
biologic dapat
in that
sila
scenario,
prospect.
yep. And in that scenario, you could probably call him a prospect. But since Alan David Picasso legitimately had a number one ranking from the WBC, and he put in the paperwork to fight Naoya the Monster Inoue, and
mhm.
it was the mandatory, and he was the ordered fight, I could no longer consider him a prospect at the number one slot.
Like, here's the thing is, like, I don't know how you guys view rankings or what people think rankings, but even when we were talking about in the beginning of the situation about like how Nonito gets his rankings, right? Like, I fight
Right.
tooth and fucking nail. Like, I fight like a lawyer to get Nonito in the rankings, and people can hate it or what. But the thing is when I look at the rankings, let's just go back to when it was Jason Maloney was the number one in the WBC. Number two was a guy from Thailand that Jason beat. Number three was the guy we freaking knocked out. Number four was Nonito. And
Right.
in that situation, right, I had to argue why Nonito should be at least number two. And I was able to make those arguments in front of the WBC, in front of everybody, and they moved Nonito. No questions asked, right? When it comes to going up in the rankings, especially after you hit 15, you strategically, well, the management strategically should be matching you up with fighters on a local, not local, regional level to get you small titles that jump you up in the ratings, right? So you can't pick, so if you're in the top, you're number 14 and you pick number 100, like that's not going to give you anything. You're just fighting anyone at that point that anybody could do, including like what you were saying, that they can get a bunch of fights in Mexico. It looks pretty on paper, but once you get into the top 15, to strategically move up all the way to number one, there's certain fights that they will look at and say, if I fight this guy, can I jump to number 7? And they will say yes or no. And if
Right.
so it's a roadmap that's pretty long, but you have to find the people in in where you're fighting where that will push you up in the rankings, because they're going to look at the quality of opponents and not the quantity.
Right. And what you're hearing here, gentlemen, Hugo in particular, right, is better management, damn it. All right? Just because we got a better management and a better representation to promote our fights, you want to be mad because your guy ain't getting the fight. Well, we got better representation and we're fighting harder and to get these fights. So that's the business of boxing, guys.
Hey,
That's
Who did you
Rachel,
guys?
everything about boxing. What's up,
Rachel,
fella?
Yeah.
Rachel, quick question.
Yeah.
How do you see this changing the subject a little bit, but
Yep.
this January stacked with a couple good fights. We got the Amanda Serrano coming up on the 3rd, that whole card in Puerto
Mhm.
Rico. We got the Suriel Matias in January 10th in New York. Xander Zayas unifying in Puerto Rico on the 31st, as well as Teal Shakur at in New York.
Well, Amanda, like Donito's actually been texting me, and I gotta go soon. Nonito just landed in Puerto Rico. He's doing the commentary board alongside Christina Poncher and Dan Canobio. Um,
Nice.
and I wanted to go. Listen, for the best of me, I wanted to go. And I made the decision not to because I think boxing has like overtaken my life for the last couple weeks that I'm
Yeah.
tired of freaking boxing right now. I'm gonna
I
watch it,
hear
but I
you.
just didn't want to.
I get like that. Sometimes you gotta decompress, and you need
Well,
a
and
week
not just
to
that,
do.
like if you know, I could watch the fight. I'm gonna watch the fight 100%, but
Yeah,
when I go to these fights, right, I have to represent Nonito, so I have to smile. I have
yeah.
to like, talk to people
I
and work
get
the
it. I
room.
get it.
I'm like, no,
That gets
I'm not doing
tiring.
that. I'm
That gets
tired.
tiring sometimes.
Yeah.
Shit.
But I mean, Amanda, I heard her opponent came in 26.8 at first, 2 hours later, point 0.2. And she tried to cut it, but I know she was a last minute opponent. For the best of Amanda, she said she's not going to push her to cut her hair or anything. She's like, I don't care. Like, it's just not going to be on
Wait a minute. Is
on
the
the
belt still on the line in this situation, or what's
for
going on?
Amanda, not for Reina.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Arena not gonna get the shot at the title.
Mm-mm.
Amanda does though. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that one's really, and I actually did a 49-page deck. Like, so every time Nonito does commentary, he's not someone that just goes in there and wings it. Okay.
Right.
This is a 13 fight card tomorrow, and I created a 49-page deck for Nonito on each of the fighters and them against each other. So I know this
Wow,
card
so
is
your work is beyond Nonito's corner. Your
Uh,
work
she
is
she is management. Where have you been? Like,
no, I know that, but
boxing.
management for boxing, not
Oh,
commentary.
that is
So
all
she's
boxing right there. Like that is the whole lifestyle. Okay. All right. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about right
that's
there.
crazy.
Know what
That's
I mean?
dedication,
Yo,
sacrifice,
listen.
everything.
And
Well, I mean, I have to like I'm in his corner. Like, and if I'm in his
right.
corner, I need to see him do extremely well, right? I need to
That's
give
what we
him the
want.
tools because yes, can Nonito wing it? Nonito can wing it all day, but he talks very differently when he's winging it. He's gonna have to wing a couple of the first cards because when I give him a deck, I give it to him in PDF and I give it to him printed out. And when he's there, he'll write notes on the paper. Like I give him space to write notes and stuff. But if he looks at it on his laptop or on the iPad, the PDF will actually go, it'll say, this is the YouTube link for Holly Holmes versus whoever.
Right.
Here are her keys to victory. This is where she slips up. And you can click it and you could click the link and it'll go to like, I don't know, a minute 30 where Holly Holmes did something off. And then
You
you
guys hear
click
this
another
shit?
link. Huh?
I'm telling my subscribers, sorry for interrupting you, but you guys are paying attention to hear this shit. She got them down to clicking links. Real professionalism here,
Hey,
man.
not only
Yo,
clicking
that
links,
is
but with
amazing.
timestamps and everything.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. Listen, go ahead.
Yeah. So it'll like here, I'll go to my computer and I'll tell you exactly this fight card. Pick someone on the fight card that don't give me the first two people because those were the hardest ones. Even though I found out.
Alex Chop Chop Chapato.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Alexis.
Give me a couple seconds because I gotta walk to my computer.
No, you're good.
Couldn't even. You know what? MVP so bad they couldn't even put a Mexican good prospect in there for La
Oh
Raza.
my God.
Everyone Puerto Rican.
Yo, does this? Oh, Hugo, you just can't let one right. Anytime an opportunity for say something, que viva Mexico, and you just come right in, huh? Yo, you something else, bro. You are something else. But no, man, that's a woman there that has is all in on the sport, what her husband is about. It you know it that's kind of like, I would say, something that is priceless. You know,
Yeah,
when
it
you have
is.
your family and everybody that is supporting that vision, and her experience and knowledge for getting into these rooms, and Rachel's the one that looks over contracts. That comes with experience, and that also comes with fight by fight, and you can't buy that. That's something money can't buy. So everything that she does for Donair, he's going to be commentating on the Amanda Serrano. So you guys know this now. You guys will be seeing the champion, the former world champion, commentate. He has very good commentating, and now we all know where it comes from. Rachel Donair. You know what I mean?
Hey,
You know
No,
what
I'm
Rachel,
not gonna say. No, I'm not
why
gonna
you,
say.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just
hey,
messing. I
Rachel,
know.
why you pull up that Alexis Chop Chop Chipato stuff? What are your thoughts on Fresh Productions winning that purse bid for a small Puerto Rican promotional company?
It's a big
Oh, is that's the one for Subriel Matias, right?
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, that was interesting to me because he outbid Matchroom, and I know that Matchroom was working on whatchamacallit on Riyadh's behalf to get him to
right,
be there.
right.
I think that it's a little bit scary for me, like what they're doing as far as I'm not really big in New York, so I don't super understand a lot of the stuff in New York, but them putting the fight in New York for me was a little bit I was like, I mean, he's big in Puerto Rico. I think honestly it should have been in Puerto Rico. I don't know what you guys think about that. Um I
Yeah,
heard Emmanuel Rodriguez was supposed to be on there. They asked us to be on that card against Emmanuel Rodriguez. But I didn't accept it because of the fact that we had um we were they were telling us that what's his name? Vargas was going to pull out of the fight with Seiya Satsumi, right?
oh,
Um, so for me, I'm like, okay, it's either this one or this one, right?
right.
And of course, the fight with Seiya Satsumi was um, very lucrative, um, and a great, opportunity. So I didn't want to pass that one up to fight Emmanuel Rodriguez, even though I think that they should have fought a long time ago. Um, but yeah, so that's what you said. Wait. Oh, okay, wait. Not edit for Chop Chop. This is Chop Chops. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Rachel. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, good. Let her go. Yep.
here's your stuff. Alex Chaparro's notes, native Puerto Rico, resides in Ridgewood, New York. His name is Chop Chop, same moniker as DeMarcus Corley, has modeled for Versace, Burberry, Dolce and Gabbana. He competed in the 2020 and 2024 Olympic trials. He's the fourth fight under banner of MVP Promotions and Amanda Serrano. His first appearance is in San Juan and second in Puerto Rico, KO'd first round Stephen Kirkwood in Caguas in 1024. I think I was at that fight. He fought in Texas, Florida, and the DR. Second fight in 77 days against Gutierrez. Third fight scheduled 6-rounder. Longest fight to date was most recent bout against David Gutierrez, which ended with a TKO victory at the 25-second mark of round 6. Has 6 KOs in 6 fights, so 100%. What else? His KO in the longest fight of his career, Chaparro appeared to be stunned by Garcia, after which he turned his back and fell to canvas. For whatever reason, a knockdown was not called. But to his credit, Chaparro recovered and outlanded Gutierrez 57-37. He averaged 56.2 rounds punches per round. On CompuBox, he led overall. Even on jabs, 41-19. What else? You
It's
want to
pretty
hear
thorough.
Liel?
That's
Well,
pretty
no, that's
thorough.
so
No,
you basically broke down his whole
that's just one
life
fighter. And that's just one
in,
guy.
yeah. But in a matter of what, a couple words, just and I know what I noticed you give him a lot of key points to just touch on, and then
Yep.
he can
He
freestyle
can
from there
pull.
on
He
out.
can pull
Yeah,
from.
so after that, then it goes into strengths and weaknesses. His strengths, from what I pulled up, was he had solid fundamentals and balance. He's comfortable fighting behind a jab. He's calm under pressure for a young fighter, but he's willing to box rather than brawl. His weaknesses at this point, is of course he's still developing his killer instinct. He can give away rounds if he's being too patient. And he needs a little bit more experience versus pressure fighters. So if you look at the key stamps that I gave Nonito, it was I referenced Chaparro versus Diego Perez. And it says timestamp 45 seconds on the clip is round 1 establishes jab and distance 320. Round 2 is straight right lands clean. 7:05 round 4 he circles well under pressure. 11:30 round 6 closes round with clean combinations to win the fight.
There you go. Shit.
That's a fair. That's
Here's your keys
more
to
than
victory.
fair.
That's your
Here's
keys.
your keys. Well, do you want to hear Liel though, the guy he's fighting
Right.
against?
Okay, let's hear him. Let's hear him.
Okay, hold on. Scroll down. Okay, so native of Venezuela, resides in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Turned pro at the age of 28. First appearance was in Puerto Rico. He's fought in Georgia and Tennessee. Faced first undefeated opponent of pro career. 2 of his 3 opponents were 3-30-2 and 13-59-2. And we're on losing streaks of 5 and 9 respectively. Second fight in 133 days. Along his absence of his brief pro career, 3 fights have lasted 12 rounds, average 4.0 rounds, has 1 KO in 3 fights, has no first round KOs. Second, a scheduled 6-round fighter, completed 6-round distance in the most recent bout. Now, if I compare the two, all right, Alex Chaparro keys to victories: maintain distance and control the tempo with a jab, land clean counter punches as Leo pressures, avoid engaging in prolonged inside brawls, and capitalize on Leo's defensive gaps when he overcommits. If Leo needs to win, then he needs to pressure relentlessly from the opening bell to disrupt Chaparro's rhythm. He has to work the body with hooks to wear Chaparro down, force inside exchanges where physical strike can dominate, and cut off the ring to limit Chaparro's movement and boxing space.
Now, you only do this whenever he's doing commentary, or
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a shitload of fucking research you got to sit back and do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see why you need a little break. Enough said.
Yeah, and this was 13. Like, so during camp,
I'm taking notes here.
you know, they were announcing that certain fights, right, on their Instagram. So I would pull those fights and I just start compiling it. And then as the fight gets closer, MVP sends an email to me and Nonito, because they know Nonito never checks his email. And they start, you know, putting the entire card together. And then they'll start giving us like who is going where in the programming.
Right.
So once I do that, once I compile everything with all the links and things like that, then I move them. So when I print it, Nonito has a full stack and he just turns one page and then the next page, and here's the next fight. Like everything's in order. So he has it, like I said, he has it on PDF where he can click on links and he can print it out. Let's just say he spills coffee on his deck. I don't know. And he needs to print it out. He has it in his email, or I sent him with a folder of all the pages printed out already for him.
Listen, that sounds amazing, but you know, a hater like Hugo, you know what he'll say, right? Hugo will be like, you know, well, why don't you have it in alphabetical order? You know, I'm backwards in Latin, you know what I'm saying? In Braille. At least
Stop
did
it,
that.
In
Ramon.
Spanish.
Stop
it
it.
should be in
Stop it.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Stop
You know what I'm
it.
saying?
Stop. Look.
That's what Hugo would
The-
say. You know,
Hey,
because
the golden
Hugo
boy
always
one
has
last thing, Hugo, give
another
me a second.
side.
One last thing before I jump off. One last
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
before I jump off. Rachel, when can we get Donair on here? One-on-one
Uh,
with Edwin. With Edwin.
That'd be
Nobody
great.
else on the
So
panel.
when I gotta figure it out because he just texted me and Sugar Hill just texted me. And Nonito was like, he's like, I kind of want to go, you know, go to the gym with Suge for a little bit. Just because he's in between fights. And I was like, sure. So I'm supposed to book his fight now from instead of Puerto Rico back home, which he already has. He wants to stop by Florida, and I don't know. I just gave him an open ticket. Like, whenever you want to come home, then tell me that, or I bring my stuff over there and
Right.
go over
Right.
there. So I basically maybe like mid-Jan is probably the best I can give you at this point because I don't know what the hell he's doing.
That would be wonderful, and if you could ever hey, these guys are all right, you know what I mean? Hey, yo, front line, you the man for that. Thank you. And because I would love to have him on. Absolutely, the people would love to hear from him and talk about his boxing experience
You're
and
gonna have to take out the picture in the back of Inuge. Camp
no,
that for a
No.
he
fact. You're
respects
gonna
that
have to
man,
pick
bro.
that one
Not
Listen,
out.
like
I'll tell
you.
you
He's not
one
a
thing, like,
hater,
listen,
Hugo.
like, a lot of the times when we talk, like, you should never be surprised if you hear Nonito. Like, he'll walk by, he's heard me on he knows who I go and visit and who I just listen to
Mhm.
and who I go up on stream. And you'll randomly hear him go, "Nope, that's bullshit." And then he'll come into the conversation. That's just, it is what it is. So don't ever be surprised if, you hear him in the
Oh,
back.
now
And
I
like
know I gotta say random bullshit to get his attention. He must be agreeing with me all the time because he doesn't come on. So that's a good thing. But still, so that means I'm good. But if he ever can got the time or whatever, I would always love to have him come on and talk about some of these fights and moments and stuff and just his mindset or whatever he would love to talk about, even if he wants to come up and tell us about future fights or whatever. It's always good to have that kind of boxing mind and experience on the show. I love to hear my own voice sometimes, but I know when the pros come in the building and stuff, and I would love more than anything to have that kind of boxing experience and mindset. So yeah, man, that would always be a pleasure, Rachel. So
Yeah,
Rachel,
for sure.
yep,
And just you gotta tell me, like, ahead of time if there's something that
yeah,
you want him to analyze, because
mhm,
sometimes he gets thrown a wrench and he's like, "Wait, what fight?" He's like, I didn't even watch it." Like I said,
right,
we haven't watched
right,
Night of the Samurai because we got
right,
here on the
right,
23rd, then it was Christmas, and I'm still jet lagged.
right.
Um, and so we just haven't had the time to sit down and watch, like,
It's
without
great.
commentary, just
Right, right.
appreciate the fight. And then we
Yeah,
if it's an analyzation fight, though, I'll tell you what we do is we watch it, one, just to enjoy the fight, and then the second time around is now we're taking notes, right?
right,
And now
right,
we're scoring it.
right.
Because yeah, that's
Yeah.
two different ways of watching a
Right.
fight.
That's exactly what I do. Because the fight that I quickly learned. Sometimes I can have binoculars on the first time watching the fight. I can be zooming or hyper focus on one guy because either I expected something from him or sometimes the other guy steals my attention. But either way,
Mm.
I'm usually sometimes hyper focused in certain situations, or I'm talking actually with people in the party or something, watching less of the fight. Or if I watch it by myself, then I'll engage it like
Okay, well,
that.
I have a question on that, though.
Yes, yes,
I was talking to a couple of the people, and I was saying, like, what's interesting, what I didn't like in Japan is, well, not that I didn't like, but it's very common for it to be dead silent in the arena. Okay.
yeah.
Now, with it being dead silent, I think that it should be implemented that the judges need to wear canceling headsets.
Oh,
Now, I'll tell you why.
you think that
I
the cheer of the crowd will alter the perception of what they saw?
If it's quiet as shit and every time Saya throws something, the crowd erupts, whether or not it landed, yes, one. Number
Right,
two, depending on where you're sitting as a judge, you're in earshot of either a corner or you're in earshot of the commentary. So if the commentary panel is heavy one side,
right,
does that, as just as a human being, of course, like, you want for the best of them to just score unbiasedly, but if
right.
they're hearing what we're hearing at home, and it's flowing your perception one way, like, what
Let
do
me
they need to hear? They don't need to hear anything.
let me ask you a question. Another question. Do you think, or are you on the side of them showing the scoring of the round by round basis up like on a monitor or something? As every round ends, they show the real what your
Open
fighters
scoring.
are.
Open scoring.
Open scoring. Are you on the line with open scoring,
Um,
or do you think that Here's a couple scenarios. Open scoring the entire fight. Open scoring into the 8th round. And then blind scoring from there, because and then from there, you don't give the fighters no, or open scoring, real open scoring for the viewers at home and not at the fight. Not because at the
Someone's
viewers
gonna
at home,
text you anyway.
right, it's gonna happen anyway, but at least it's not in front of you, right? Okay, so you don't got that distracted, because to tell you the truth, for years we've been seeing the unofficial scorecard. And I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many people in the world thought that that was a real scorecard for years.
Oh,
Okay, I can't tell you. I've been at so many fight parties where they're saying the guy's yelling, "Look at the scorecard! It's right there on the screen," and we're trying to explain to him that is not unofficial. We still got those guys out there; they exist.
yeah.
So, according to them, it wouldn't really even affect those guys. So, if there was a way of open scoring, and I presented a couple, how would you view it? How do you? What's your view on that?
So they did open scoring for Takuma Inoue and I why can I never remember his name? It's because he's a kickboxer.
Hmm.
Uh,
The guy
you
that
know who I'm
fought
talking
him. Yeah,
tension.
yeah, Tintin,
Okay.
he fought Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, so they did open scoring and that they announced it. I think 4-8, right? Um, and we couldn't understand it because it was in Japanese. So I'm like, well, I don't know what he just said, but you
Right,
saw I think Jake Donovan posted it on Twitter is how I found it. Jake said what they were saying in English. And so I was like, oh, that's why. So Takuma became very first of all, Tension was, just not focused and boastful. Like he's a showboater from kickboxing. Okay. Um, and when it turned, when Takuma knew he was winning, he got all of a sudden a stream of confidence, and he was more decisive
yeah.
in controlling the fight. I think that it could go wrong, especially if you go all 12, because if you're comfortably in the lead, why would you engage in a firefight? You might have someone start to run if you
Ah,
know if you're around 10 and
yeah,
you have all the cards or if you only have 9 cards still, you're like, I just need to be very smart here, right? Um, but when it comes I think like put an open scoring up to 6 and see what happens. Like that
right,
one's kind of fun
right.
because you're only getting half of the fight. You're,
Half,
you
half,
know,
half. Right, right,
yeah,
right.
you could
And I can
adjust
see
also
I
in the corner
right,
depending on how they're scoring. You're like, oh, okay, so they gave us this round, we did this in this round. They didn't give us this
right,
round. So they're
right,
not scoring it like that. All right, now I know how to continue fighting, right? That gives the corner an added advantage if they're paying attention to what their fighter's doing in each round.
mhm,
I just don't I think that you're going to get guys that they believe they have a comfortable lead, and I think you're going to get less of the let's go all out, balls to the wall, leave
right.
everything in the ring if you know that.
Right. And then, there's those moments in a fight where, you're not sure if you're up or down, and you're
Mhm.
inspiring your fighter to do that. That kind of gonna take that away for you. And then it's also gonna alert the other team to how that other person must gonna come out. Look, he's
Yep,
down 2-1, 2,
he's coming.
yeah, he's coming, so it will reveal things in a match that, as you started to break it down, I started to thinking, I was like, wait a minute, yeah, okay, I can see where, and you're right, there could be situations where another person runs. You could be stealing the fight away from us,
Mhm.
because this guy could still go in there, engage, want to close, and all of a sudden, boop, he lays him out, boom, if not, he would have, yeah, 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 and then it becomes situational like that,
Yeah.
and I
Then
think
yeah,
first
then it's
image,
really gonna depend on
yeah.
like the activity of your corner
Give
and
Devin
them paying
Haney
attention.
give Devin Haney a 6-2 lead. What do you think he's gonna do?
He's just gonna stay behind his jab. Why would he engage?
Right. You're gonna see him circling out the red. Give him, and he knows that he's on the scorecard leading. Like, oh, 6-2. What do you think he's gonna
Okay,
do?
here I'll give you an example.
Shakur do
Nonito
the same.
versus
Shakur does the
no
same.
Nonito versus Darchinian, number 2. Okay,
Mm.
part 2. Is I think it was at 122. But we came into Texas, and I remember this to this day. One of my guys was sniffling, and I looked at him. I was like, "Motherfucker, you better not be sick." And sure enough, here goes Monday or Tuesday. Here goes Nonito, full blown fucking flu. I'm like, God damn it, right? So I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And get into the locker room. He's having a hard time sweating, and he's cold. And I'm like, ah, shit. And he's like, what do I do? I was like, I mean, you fuck, we're already here. So he goes in. I think Robert Garcia was in the corner. And Nonito, he was losing. He was definitely fucking losing. And
Mhm.
Darchinian was fine, staying safe, just outlanding Nonito, jabbing and stuff like that. And I think it was the 8th round. He turned to me and I was in the front row and he looked at me. It was like he had this lost look on his face. I go, "You're fucking losing." I was like,
Mm,
"So what do you want to do?" And the 9th round, he knocked him out. But
mm.
I told him he was losing, right?
Right.
If he knew maybe in the 6th that he was losing first through 6th, maybe he would have pushed the gas pedal earlier than that
Right.
than 9th, right?
Right.
But it's like I said, it's those situations that Darchinian knew unequivocally that he had a comfortable lead on Nonito that night.
Hmm.
And when
Right.
Nonito got him to engage, which is what Darchinian always wanted to do, but was afraid of what happened the first time from engaging with Nonito, he knew that if Nonito's not going to engage with me, I'm not going to engage with him.
Right.
So I'm just going to stay out here. But Nonito was able to get him, like, pull him into that firefight with him
Yep.
and go, okay, shot for shot, let's go again.
Right.
And
Because Don Nonito was sick. He didn't have the energy to like chase him around and be on his toes, but he could go in a firefight with him. Very smart. He needed to him to bite and to play into his game in order to get him because but man, these are all situations, man, about that's what I really want to ask your husband. Like, what were you thinking in that moment? Like, what was it like? Yeah, you just like, and like I tell everybody, you can't play boxing. This is not for everybody. There has to be something about you that can literally get punched in your face, get wobbled, and not be bothered by it, and to stay the course and focus. And that comes up from years of repetition and fighting, and it's just like you're built for these moments and these situations, and that's just something you can't buy experience. So, yeah, man, look, for everybody tuned in today, thank you for tuning in. Please do me a favor and hit that like button. We have special guest Rachel Donair here on the panel, sharing a lot of her boxing insight. I want to thank everybody that tuned in today. I'm gonna be ending this live stream, and Rachel, thank you for stopping by, and it's always a pleasure. Enjoy your little bit of moment away from boxing. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But my wifey just got home recently, and I still been on for an hour, so I gotta go pay a
no,
little
go do
bit
that.
to
Go
her.
handle that. And
Yes, yes,
thanks for having me. I love talking boxing. It's just, the work side of it sometimes
yes,
catches up to me and I'm like, I'm done. My brain's dead.
yeah,
But I love having these conversations because it makes me think. And I do want to educate people who are outside of the sport or just coming into the sport when if they have questions on how things work. Because I know a lot of people don't. I think for us in the industry, we assume that you guys understand. We're like, what? No,
right.
that's not how it is. So having these conversations just educates your fans in really understanding how boxing is.
That's what I preach. This is a boxing show. We have a debates and opinions like assholes. Everyone has one, but at the same time, I want my boxing channel to be educational, informative, and also speaking with people that are in the circle, not just people from the outside looking in, assuming and trying to break things down. These are the inner workings of the back in the back, what goes on in the back rooms in boxing. And Rachel Donaire has experienced that. She has experience in it, and she continues to carry on in the sport of boxing and learn every day. So thank you for stopping by and once again talking boxing, which I feel is real boxing talk. I would like to always thank my co-host Frontline for being here, reading off the chats and interacting here as well. So fight fans, thank you.
Edwin,
Yes,
Edwin, can I get 2 minutes, two more minutes?
just two
That's it,
minutes. Go
2 minutes.
ahead.
Rachel, real quick, they wanted to know your thoughts on the Subriel Matias controversy with the doping, and how do you see that fight going?
Oh,
Subriel Matias, as far as the doping is concerned, he was actually listed as underneath the threshold. One of the things that people don't understand is that every single boxing commission has their own rules. Yes, you can, like for example, Texas doesn't allow for marijuana usage, but Nevada does. And when you're fighting somewhere, you need to know the rules of that game. With Subriel, he didn't have to test his B sample; it didn't matter because of the fact that it was under the threshold anyway. I do think it's bothering him, and I think that that's going to be a key indication which Subriel Matias is going to show up that night. Because for the best of him, when he's on point, he's a threat. But if every boxer has their bad day and they lose focus, so when I've heard him consistently talk about the drug thing in recent interviews, I'm like, who cares? Let it go. It's done. It's over with. Just keep fighting.
yeah, they're trying to get in his mind. Yeah, Subriel, listen to Rachel. You right. You right. You right. You
All right.
right. They're trying to get
Thank
in his
you, Rachel. Thank you,
mind.
And
Edwin, for
and
two
you know what,
minutes.
round one, you know what I'm gonna
Yes.
do is I'm gonna do that same breakdown that I do for Nonito for that Subriel card, and then when that's not till the end of wait, no, it's on the 10th, isn't it?
The Subriel fight card.
Yeah. Yeah, when is it? The 10th.
Now you got me off balance. Yes, the 10th. Yes. Yes, it is the 10th. Yes.
That's next
Yeah.
week. Okay, so why don't we text me on Instagram, and I'll get at least 4 of the cards done so we can talk about that card.
Awesome. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will text you and remind you, and we will do exactly that. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
sounds great.
Okay.
I'll talk to
I'll
you
see
next
you
week.
then.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Bye bye. So there you guys have it. Yo, just getting perfecting my craft here at Round One Sports Talk to give you guys a better show. So and the Rachel Donair will be stopping by, hoping and guess that for the Super Matias card, maybe we'll do a live breakdown and commentary. However, whatever how much time she has. But I am appreciative of that and I'm thankful. So and I always want to bring you guys a better show. So I'm tired right here. I'm running out of things to say, and she's looking at me, and I'm nervous. So, fight fans, love yourselves, and I'm on to the next one after this one here at